We got plenty of Turbo Man's faithful saber-tooth tiger booster.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you, I make you laugh. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
I don't play this game. I lied.
What's up, everybody? Grinders! It's your boy, Jez7780. What grinds my gears here with the Gaming Grindhouse, episode 47. The Halo reviews have dropped. They're in, and Sony Exec is out. Title of this video, we got some topics to talk about tonight. Shout out to all the grinders that have been in here, hitting up with the boosters and bootleg Joels. Oh, man. I gotta get my lips wet because I'm gonna be saying a lot of bootleg, bootleg. Get those lips nice and wet. Bootleg. And get some dried chapped lips, and we're saying bootleg so much because there's a lot of bootlegs going on here. Man, we got some extra bootlegs. But we got reviews are in. We got a lot of topics to talk about. And welcome, Frogz. How you doing, man? I know he's been playing on his Series X. How's everything going, man?
So far so good, man. Not too many problems. Just the small little things. I guess I noticed, playing more on it now that, since I'm not on my PlayStation 5 as much, I do seem to, the controller is it's kind of annoying, because it's so loud.
Yeah.
It's real clicky.
Clicky.
And I guess some people might like that, but it's not for me. And then it just, one thing I will say, man, is this thing, wow, it doesn't load as fast as I would think. I don't know, maybe the PS5 games just load faster, but this thing doesn't load as fast. Like the menu is just really slow still.
Are you saying that Sony was right with the SSD? Oh yeah. Nah. Was Sony right with that SSD? Was he? Oh.
Look, I don't know if Sony was right, but what I will say is like
Goth himself.
What I've been playing on it seems like I've been having a faster load time, and just I'm just gonna say, some of the games I've been playing, I don't think they're as fast. It is not as fast as what I've been playing on the PS5. Not saying it's not fast.
Yeah.
It's obviously faster than my Xbox One, but it's not faster than what I'm playing on my PS5. It just seems to, I don't know, I'll just have a quicker time.
Oh man!
And you know what it boils down to mainly. I'll be honest with you. What it basically boils down to is, and I think this is what it is that menu is so cumbersome. It's so
yeah. The UI
that menu, the UI is really bad on the Xbox. I don't know how. I think if you're used to it, then you may not have a problem with it. But I think if you're used to the PlayStation 5's UI or even the PS4's UI, it's a better UI. Like the Xbox, I've always thought the Xbox One's UI was clunky. Yeah. I've always thought they had a clunky UI.
Yeah, they need an update to fix that thing because it's a lot of big blocks. And how's it look though with the 4K? I wanted to ask you that. Like they updated the 4K, right?
Yeah,
because they're big blocks now. They look better.
I guess it's cleaner. But it's just
people said you're spoiled by Sony's SSD. You've been spoiled.
No, I'm gonna tell you what it is, man. It just, like I said, maybe it comes down to preference. I still feel like this Xbox UI is still slow. Like look, let me tell you, I went to the store the other day. I was like, let me check some stuff out. I may want to buy something, and it just took forever to load in that store. And I was like, yo, I swear, Sony stores is just like, load in, here you go.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's a gaming machine.
Whereas, it's like right? it's there. The storage is there on the PlayStation 5, where I kind of feel like on the Xbox, the series, let's just say the Series X, it just feels like it's still low. You still have to load and everything. It feels like, I'm gonna be honest, it feels like a Windows store.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's basically what it is. Like it's like basically that part. I said it's a dynamically scaled 4K UI. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's what I don't like.
Is it? I don't know. I don't like anything.
I don't like anything Windows. Windows is just trash.
Dude,
it feels like
I know. I've been using my Apple, man. My Mac. Oh damn! Man. It is like going to the PS5 for the Xbox. Like it's just like pew.
Yeah. It's like the difference of Mac and the PC. And I'm not trying to shit on PC, but what I'm saying is like that UI is not that great. It's really not that great. They definitely should have designed a whole new UI. I don't know how or who told them the UI was good for the Xbox.
The capturing still sucks.
Oh, the capturing.
That's
look. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you what this system does great. What it does good is it does good playing the current generation of games in its S or X mode. It does that great.
Yeah.
So the games I have, they hand in hand, they look similar to PS5 games, right? The games are made for this generation. But I don't see a huge for all this talk of free freaking remastered games, if you already own them and all that stuff. I don't see a drastic difference on most of my 360 or even Xbox One games, that I want to play, because those games I already beat and played. So most of the games that take advantage of what they call the FPS boost, I beat and play those.
Boost. We got Boost.
And
Speaking of
so-
Boost, we got the VIP Grindhouse, VIP Lounge up here, Frogz. Speaking of boosters,
And
he's outside
look, and as much
the
as-
club right now.
as
Can't get
much
in.
as I'm playing it, as much as I'm playing the Series X, it sounds like I'm just trashing and I'm trashing it. I think that there's some problems with this system, and the main thing is it feels like a more powerful. And I said this before.
Are you saying it's an IGN 10 out of 10? It's an IGN 10 out of 10.
It's definitely
Oh, Windows
it's definitely
Central 100.
It's definitely a more powerful Xbox One. That's what I'll say it is.
It has some problems. 100.
Yeah, it
IGN
feels
10
like
out of 10.
No, it
Let's
feels
go.
like a more powerful Xbox One. That's basically what this is. Whereas the PS5 feels like it doesn't feel like a more powerful PS4. It feels like something different.
Yeah.
And
It's an evolution
And
of the thing.
yes, it's definitely an evolution, not a revolution. It's definitely an evolution. So I guess we'll see going forward what
Oh, I had 'em on
software will compel me. Maybe it's the new Halo game. Maybe because I don't feel that the Forza games are going to do that for me. Because I think the Forza games, when you go from an Xbox One X and you go to the Series X, yeah, there's a difference in frames and all that great stuff. But what I don't see here is a different system. I just feel like Microsoft was like, yo, we need to make a more powerful Xbox One X, and let's just call it the Series X. And instead of we'll drop the name Xbox One, we'll just call it Series X. And I'm like, you guys might as well call it Xbox One Series X, because to me, this is an Xbox One. To me, that's what it is.
I gotcha.
Same boot up sound, same
Ugh.
almost to a T.
Well-
Everything you can do in this system, you can do previously.
Well, you
There's
wanna-
nothing that drastically separates this.
You know what, Frog? One of the things, well, speaking about consoles, first I want to just shout out to all the VIP grinders we got here. Who are you? I put you back in there. For some reason, I had you on the other screen, not on this one, so I added you with the new VIP grinder, Wendigo Rex. But shout out to Eddie T, David Howe, Nariko, No Cap Podcast, Brian M, Tex Mex, Morty, True Witty, 4-Star General, and Dad of War. You guys are partying in the VIP lounge with Herman Holtz doing splits. And Bootleg Joel in the back with Booster and his fridge. They can't come into this VIP lounge. This is where the games do the talking. But now they got some games, so maybe I could pull the curtain back a little bit. But nah, leave him outside. I say we keep him outside. We got the party in here. Club VIP lounge.
Jed, you know what I would really love? I tell you what I would really love. I would love for somebody who's not a fanboy, but a true Xbox guy that has an Xbox but primarily plays there and has a PlayStation 5 can tell me I'm talking about major differences. Don't talk about quick resume, because I'm
Frog,
like,
there is
okay,
none.
you got-
There is none. There's
just
no
can't
major
figure out
differences.
what the-
Digital Foundry has proved there is none. No boosters allowed. That's right.
Like when I get on the system, everything's the same. Like I own an Xbox One. I'm like, I didn't have trouble navigating it. It just seems
Well,
like
you
want to
know a lazy upgrade, Frog? Guess what? They just came in the mail for me today. That I'm just like, yeah, this is probably gonna go back. The Nintendo Switch OLED. I ordered it. Fat guy gamers or fat kid deals. Said, hey, order it. It's here, right? I hit order. I was like, let me see what. Boom, and ordered it in my cart. Shipped from Amazon UK. Works fine. The only thing is that it comes with the USB-C plug, but just has the outlet for over the seas. Which is fine.
Yeah.
It uses any outlet. It's just a USB-C. But I'm gonna tell you, that screen, awesome. The screen on the OLED Nintendo, incredible. The little bit bigger size, definitely better for the OLED Nintendo. I think that maybe because the controllers of mine are all worn out, but those controllers definitely feel better. The little nubs on the on the Joy-Cons. The screen definitely looks incredible. The larger size is noticeable. It's definitely a sleeker design, and that kickstand is almost Surface-like. It's like the Surface where it like flips out. It's not that plastic flap that's out there like a tab. It actually is like a nice kind of exactly what's on the back of a Surface, like plastic though.
It
has that tension to it.
Let me ask you a question since you got it. Do you see, because maybe this is just a me thing, I don't really take my Switch out of dock mode
No,
because I
that's
don't have
what
any,
I was thinking when I was playing it. I'm like,
yeah, I don't take
I'm
it out
never
of
gonna
dock
play
mode.
like this. This thing sits in
No,
the
I
dock on
always
my
play it on the
TV,
TV.
and it's
I
not
don't
even
have
more
little
powerful.
children. Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't plan on upgrading to a Switch unless they do
Mm-mm.
like
It needs to be
something
more
like a Switch.
powerful, and that's
Yeah,
the thing that's
more
been
power. I
bothering
need
me.
more power.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think with Nintendo, and Nintendo's a weird company because Nintendo's like, hey, we're gonna do a Switch Lite, which doesn't switch to anything. You can't dock it, you know.
yeah.
Uh,
That's why I thought the OLED would
and
have been better for the Switch Lite.
and I think Nintendo wants to make a more powerful Switch, but I think the Switch is selling so well, they're just like, we don't even
I
want to
know.
jump in that market and make a more powerful system because it's selling so well. So people like me who would like a more powerful Switch, I'll get games like Metroid and Zelda, and I start playing. I'm like, damn, these games look bad,
Yeah,
and then I stop playing them because they just look really bad. They look really bad. Like they look like I'm still playing in that PS3 360 generation bad. Like compared to now, where it feels like Nintendo's still stuck on a PS3 360 generation, and we're on PlayStation 5 and Series X. I'm like, geez, man.
yeah.
Like once you start playing stuff at 4K, even if it's dynamic and 60 frames, and then you start playing some Nintendo stuff, and you're like, yo, I'm playing this in sub HD, maybe 30 locked,
The screen is
sometimes
awesome.
60.
Like I tell you, the screen is awesome. But then I just put it
Right.
right in the dock, and I'm like, goodbye screen. Like it's just like I'm not gonna play like
Exactly.
this. So that's why I
And
think
that's the
that I'm
thing.
just gonna wait for a more powerful Switch,
And
and
that's the
that's the thing
thing.
I'm gonna
Like
do.
I really think that Nintendo uh could have said, here's a $399 Switch that doesn't switch.
Yeah,
Since you do
because
the
I
Switch
have the
Lite,
other Switch. Like that's the
give
thing.
me
Like I
give me
have the other
give me
Switch.
a
So,
freaking give me just a dock station with a built-in Switch capability with more
dude,
power.
that's what they need to
You
do.
know?
I know.
But I don't think they'll do it, and the reason I think they do it is because they're making so much money off the regular Switch.
Well, that's Nintendo with their
Nintendo's the
Nintendo
kind of
ness.
company. If they're making money, they're not going to stop that gravy train. Their prices never drop. That's why they're one of those companies that's like I love them, but I hate them at the same time. It's like I can sit there and wait and wait, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I usually don't buy Nintendo consoles until probably like 2 or 3 years in
Yeah,
because I'm like, okay, maybe I can get a handful of games and just play through them. But I've played some of their bigger ones, and I'm like, yo, even their games, they're good. They're not bad games. It's just that once you start playing on your 4K games or your games on
they
PS5 on your
boosted the
4K TV,
Switch.
hook your Switch up to your 4K
Yeah.
TV, especially if you got an OLED TV.
I
And
always
it looks
said
like
that they
look
needed
like
to
trash.
have the dock like have a booster in it
Yes.
to output at
Yes.
higher resolutions, and then you don't compromise the battery life on that thing. But
Yep.
I've just got it.
For
I will
those who
see.
just want to be able to play at look, give me a 1440p 60. Like
Well,
at this
I don't
point,
know.
I'll even take
This
that.
Nintendo games,
I
we'll
just-
see.
I don't think Nintendo wants to do that.
No,
I
it's
think
funny
Nintendo-
too.
look,
I was playing some of their retro stuff on the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo emulator, and I was playing Ghosts and Goblins. And what's hilarious is that it still has the slowdown on the first level when you're doing the double jump in the
Yes,
same spots
it's
I remember when I
just-
was like 12 years
yes.
old. It is
you know what else
crazy.
is funny? And we got to
Dude.
think about this. And this is why I said Nintendo doesn't care. Nintendo from the Wii, from the inception of the Wii, we had a Wii U, and a Switch. They have not done trophies. They have not done achievements. Their online is still trash. Everything that you would figure that Nintendo seeing Sony and Microsoft do that's successful, like they're trash at it. They're
Yeah.
horrible online service, horrible.
A number one
communication.
customer.
Like,
Dude,
You
they're
might as well
charging
say
so
they-
much more money for that free. Yo, what's up? We got wait. He's like, I was gonna say, I late pipe for $2. He says, what is the Matrix
Oh.
PS5 thing? I downloaded it. It's a
You're my
countdown.
number
We'll
one
talk about it, but
customer.
I think it's just
Yeah,
your
we'll talk about
breathtaking Keanu Reeves like demo of Keanu Reeves virtual Keanu Reeves.
No, it's something. I think it's something way bigger. Than
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it definitely has something to do with the Game Awards and a video.
Yes,
game,
it does.
announcement.
And I
It's
activated
coming.
the controller vibration, and I activated
Yep.
this. So it's some demo.
All
We'll
I'm
see
gonna
what it is,
say
dude.
is
I hope it's a game,
be
man. I really do.
Be prepared for another Matrix game coming.
Oh, I love
to
a
this
Matrix
generation
game.
of console.
Enter the Matrix. I play
and,
that shit crazy.
and on Unreal Engine 5, and I think I think that's one of the big surprises we're gonna see.
I hope. Game Night 123. What's up, man? How you doing with the 5 Australian? He goes, Frogz. That's what is stopping me from continuing to play my, I guess, SMTV. Lots of popping. It's very greeny, not locked at 30. Very jarring experience.
Yeah, switching, dude. I'm telling you, it's really hard to play a Switch on the TV. I think it definitely
is because all it is just a large screen.
You know,
It's Abandoned 2.0.
Blackline said something many Weapon Wheel podcasts ago when Metroid came out. He definitely said Metroid, the best way to play it is in the handheld mode. And I agree with him, but I don't like playing handheld game systems. I don't want to have that in my hand. That's just not for me. I got big ass hands. I was sitting there, I was like,
it's nice. I just don't think I'm going to play it.
It's definitely not for me. And that's what I think I have a hard time with the Switch. I got Metroid. I started playing it, and I was like, damn, this looks like shit on my TV. So I popped it off the dock. I got the Switch. I started playing the Switch. I was like, this looks better. It feels better. But I don't fucking want to play this in handheld mode.
Mm-hmm.
Put it back in the dock, pick the controller, and I'm like, man, I can't fucking do this. And I have a hard time. That's why I don't buy a lot of Switch games anymore. I have a hard time just playing through those Switch games because I wish. My last handheld system I really liked was the Game Boy Advance. But after that,
and I don't travel as much as anymore. Like I really don't need this thing. Like I just like I'm. You know, I like, that's why I did order the Steam Deck, because I think having a PC in your hand, there's a lot more different types of games, plus games I want to play with a Switch. I feel, and also too, you could dock that as a mini PC to anything and kind of use it. I'm ready for all the hacks that thing is. That thing's capabilities are really there. I would
tell you, the Switch has a definite audience, and I don't think it's anymore. I think Nintendo's audience is not my audience anymore, and the more I want them to release good games, I know that I may get some of the games I want, but so expensive. Here's the thing. They may release a Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch, and I may be excited about it, and I know when I get that shit, it's going to look like shit on my 4K TV, running at sub 1080p at 60 frames. I'm just going to be like, fuck, man, I spent $60 on this trilogy, and I don't fucking want to play it because it looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like shit.
All right, enough of the Nintendo OLED. I'll tell you, like, it's definitely a sleeker device. It's probably the device that we should have got initially, because the first one feels like basically a very big plastic thing. This one definitely feels sleeker. It looks a little thinner. Even it has the speakers, I think, shooting out the bottom facing you now, which is better, and a better kickstand. But again, to justify it right now, I'm just like, I just don't think I'm going to take advantage of that. I think it was better for the small one. But with that, right, we can get to the Grindsboard. Let's get to topics.
Here's the last thing I'm going to say about this. How do these guys in the community freaking sit here and just they freaking cap for Switch? They lie about how great they're having a gaming experience on Switch, and they're grown ass men. How do they enjoy just playing on this thing all the time? Like, you gotta only play Nintendo games.
They must take a lot of shits.
I don't get
That's all I'm saying, man. They must be on that iron, that porcelain throne a lot of times, eating Taco Bell and taking a lot of shits. Because that's the only place I can think about playing the Switch is taking shits.
I'm not gonna name names. Some of these guys are cool ass guys, but when they talk about this is their primary console, and they shit on it, and I notice what they do. They always shit on PlayStation, because they fucked that deal up. Nintendo fucked that deal up back in the day.
Oh my God! These guys, get the hell out of here!
Thank you, Nintendo, for fucking that deal up, because we were having a Nintendo PlayStation now if it wasn't for Nintendo. No. But I just wonder why these Nintendo guys will shit on PlayStation. They fucking hold Microsoft's Xbox up on a torch, but they talk about the Switches where they primarily play, and I'm like, how do you primarily play here? And then the only other console you hear them talk about is Xbox. I'm like, do you guys just constantly root for shitty graphics and underdogs? Like, you can clearly tell. And that. You know what? I think there's something that's going on in the world where right is wrong and wrong is right. Because I see a lot of shit. Like, we can talk about this pedophile shit, this pedophile guy.
We're gonna go to the grinds. We're going to the grinds.
Something
we
wrong
got
with people, man.
There we go.
There's something wrong with people.
Let's go. It's Grindsboard time. And speaking of shit, we're going to talk about this bitch, this Sony executive. This is beyond gaming right now. This is just disgusting. And really, you know, if to use this as any kind of ammo for any kind of like discussions between consoles, that's friggin' disgusting.
Pieces of shit.
Dude, this guy.
If you're a
hold on, I got my
fanboy using that shit for a console war, you got some fucking problems.
You do.
Because I saw a lot of that shit today.
I blocked it all, man. I'm done with that shit. So apparently this guy,
person, and I don't block people, but I blocked every motherfucker. Sony vice president. I'm like, yo, he's a vice president of engineering. Motherfuckers is using this as fanboy. Block. Every motherfucker I still do, I blocked you because I was like, this is disgusting. You don't use this shit as fanboy fucking rhetoric to push your narrative. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
And
so this guy did is so he was there was I guess is it a YouTube channel or is it just they kind of it's like How to Catch a Predator type stuff. And they were IMing this guy, or you know, they were doing this IMing stuff, and you know, he basically had to meet up with this, and they got him on camera. He wearing a PS5 shirt, and basically he took his bitch ass and went back in the house, and then thank God Sony just fired his ass because this guy was luring in kids. Who the hell knows what the hell he was doing? The sick bastard. But, you know, I'm glad that they fired him. Next stop is behind bars. So that's the next place that this bitch is going. And the fact that he was, the thing that disgusts my ass, that gets me pissed off is that, you know, I would love to, I just feel that he possibly used his connections or his work with PlayStation to kind of lure in people. And I think that's sick as hell. Hey, I work for video game things, and like, you know, and even just to be that shit, that is disgusting, and that's some bullshit.
He's a sick motherfucker
wearing a PS5 shirt, meet up, like, what an asshole.
And let me tell you, he deserves to be castrated. That's a sick motherfucker.
Get him out of there.
You know,
get him out of
here. Not only just preying on young boys, because you know, I guess it's the end thing. To you know, it's the thing. Men gonna have sex with men. Women gonna have sex with women. But you're preying on a fucking minor.
But the guy said it. They do this in the How to Catch a Predator. Like they basically say like they specifically say their age. They give the opportunity to this person to be like, oh no, like get away, because like, you know, enemy of the internet. And then meanwhile he kept pursuing it, and that's where they go with this. And I know what else. There's another great show that I watched. I think it was on Netflix. It was the similar thing where they were interviewing a person that was like the investigator that actually did this, and it was I forgot what it was. It was a foreign movie. It was on Netflix, and I was watching it, and you know, it was the same thing where like, you know, you're kind of leading this person into this, but the person has all these opportunities to leave, but this is a way how to get them identified, and the fact that he pursued it, sent photographs, and then met outside, man. They had the cameras on him, and he just took his weak ass into the house, and
you're a sick individual if you're going after young kids, whether it's a boy or girl. That's a fucking matter.
And here's
the other thing. This guy right here, right? He's a piece of shit. It just so happens he works at Sony. I guarantee Microsoft, fucking Walmart.
Well, we'll see what's happening with Activision,
Target,
dude.
Activision. All these places have people like him working there. The difference between them and him, he fucking got caught.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, they have you know, I was seeing that there was other articles about there was sexual harassment allegations back in Microsoft, and I think they were asking, like, they wanted to know what their follow-up is. They have to report now. I think Satya now has to report basically on how, like, you know, what was the process of these when they had these when they had these reports come through, what was Microsoft's policy and how it's all over the place. And that's what I'm saying, like, this is beyond gaming. This is in life in general. Like, you know, and having kids and stuff and knowing that this shit's out there, you know, you got to do your best to try to, you know, protect your children and, you know, just give them the heads up about this stuff and just kind of, you know, try to stay in their business, but also give them the awareness of this. So, you know, that's the thing, because it's everywhere. You know, it's not just with games; it's with everything. No, and the fact that, you know, and that's why I said I wanted to just talk about this now. Out of the, you know, it's games because this dude was a part of PlayStation.
with everything, and just because they put that tag on there and said Sony has confirmed their senior PlayStation, see, and then people, I just fucking hate. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I hate this community I see on Twitter. The people there, they're so fucking sick. They will use this as a fan bait, click shit. Like even when Optimus Code, he went through all the stuff he was going through.
I heard he's doing bad. I got an update. Yeah.
People try to use that shit for fan. That shit irritates the fuck out of me.
Dude,
like,
the internet sucks. The internet sucks. It is what it is, and Twitter has become just a friggin' disaster. If anything shows you, look at Twitter Spaces, man. That is just a disaster of hell,
it's
like
disgusting.
of shit. So
I stopped going to Twitter Spaces.
It's a waste.
There's some sick-ended dude. There was a Twitter Space with some people in there, and they just like listening to chicks make dick sucking noises. I'm like, what?
Frog, what the hell?
I don't know what we're
Jesus
doing.
Christ.
I'm like, man, what is really going on? Like, I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling, and
Frog, what the hell you clicking? Don't go in those spaces, Frog. You'll never come back. You'll never come back. Freaking eyes wide shut.
I seen 3 Twitter Spaces up there, and one of them was like,
I don't even
dick sucking noises.
Dude, they added the friggin' search bar where you could like find them, like chat rooms and stuff. And I'm like, dude,
man,
this is like eyes wide shut, some trash. Like, this is like some friggin' like red light district.
Dude, I've seen all kinds of shit on there.
I don't even go, man. I'm looking for video game updates and do my grinds, my gears, and I move off.
That's all I want. But
that's all I do with the Twitters. They're doing Twitch shit. Twitch is disgusting too, dude. Twitch is a disaster. I was getting recommended videos. I didn't even click on them. The girl, it was Asmareth or whatever, the top viewer. She had a video and she was just sucking on fake ears. I'm like, what the hell is and there's like people. What is going on here?
You know what happened? Like
sucking on ears, fake ears.
Tell
me it's for sleeping.
And my wife is like, what? She's like, who are you following? There's some fucked up people. I'm like, I don't know why they shit to my timeline.
I get nervous for the future.
I don't know how they.
Let's go to games. I'm done with talking about this piece of shit. He goes, I want to see the next thing. He's behind jail, and also accusations. But they show, and there was a lot of details going back to this thing about they had his chats and all that other stuff, and basically, the guy's dead to rights. So hopefully they take care of him, put him behind bars and where he belongs, and get him off the streets. And he can wipe his ass with that PS5 shirt. So anyway, we're going to go to the next topic. Enough of this garbage. Get that garbage off my screen. Oh damn! Bootleg Joel just showed up. The hell's going on?
Oh.
So we have Compost says Amaranth makes great content. Stop hating. on empowering females making money.
Man.
I Lay Pipe says
You're my number one
$2.
customer.
He says can't sue for entrapment? States have different laws. That was interesting because that was from that Netflix thing. Dude, like it's I don't know. I really don't know the law. I don't even know what state it was in. Was it in California? Well, Florida?
I'm not too sure, but
was it Florida?
Nah, I hope it's not Florida.
I hope not
Please
Florida.
Fuck, man. All the crazy shit happens here.
But anyway, I think, right. Like Just Wait says entrapment of government citizens. And I think that's what it is. It's like a citizen-based, How to Catch a Predator, like Preds or something like that. But, we will see. Hope Sony acted fast. The guy, like, that thing came out over the weekend, like on Saturday, and now he was fired on Monday or Sunday. He was like done. So people thought that Sony was going to squash it or wait for more details, but man, they had him dead to rights, dude. He's gone, and get him out of here. And goodbye, good riddance. So the other thing that we had the video on was on Friday. We had this thing with the PlayStation Gamepass type thing, right? And things are coming up over the internet about like what it was and things like that. And again, I think it was a controlled rumor. Like I really think that this was a controlled kind of leak by Sony on here with this PlayStation Pass. Let me see if I could get it. And I didn't know I wanted to share it, but it's a good visual. Let me see if I have it here. With the I don't know if it was official. I don't think it was official because they haven't really released it yet. But what it sounds like, what it sounds like in the tiers that they're talking about, and we had the video on Friday about it. But the first tier sounds like your PlayStation Plus. You're gonna get your games with PlayStation Plus.
I take back my price scheme. I take it
Yeah.
back.
Oh,
I think it's going to be $59, $79, $99.
Oh.
Yeah, because I
59,
said 29,
79, 99
yeah,
a
59,
month?
yeah, $59.99. No,
Oh,
a year.
yeah. Oh, okay.
$59.99, $79.99, and $99.99 a year. I think those are going to be the
Let's see
prices.
if I get the visual here. Somebody had.
I think they go up by $20 each time.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so like the first tier sounds like it is yeah, and exactly. It's not a Game Pass. Like I think the articles are pretty quick to be like, yo, it's PlayStation's answer to Game Pass. But listening to Mooch's podcast, shout out to Mooch Crossfire, listening to then Nicholas Downey was talking about it, that it sounds like more of a rebranding and a kind of, because right now it's confusing. PlayStation Now, PlayStation Plus, what it was streaming, people still don't know what the hell PlayStation Now is still like, it's still streaming service. And it's like, no, you could play games natively. You're getting like 5-6 games a month. They changed it like 2 years ago to make this more competitive, because it was just like a PS3 kind of like streaming service. Like they didn't have a lot of PS4 games. And then they changed the pricing model, because it used to be $20 a month for that. And then now they changed it to the $5, like the $5 a month or whatever that it is now. $10 if you just buy it monthly, but like $60, I get it for $44. To do that, and basically you're getting like newer games in there. They even putting their games in there as well. And next month is Grand Theft Auto 3 is in there.
Why?
But yeah, a lot of articles just jumps in. This is the PlayStation Game Pass and things like that. And I was like, oh, it is. So it sounds like the first tier that they were talking, but I am going to bring it back to that though. But the first tier is kind of your PlayStation Plus. The second tier is your PlayStation Plus with PlayStation Now. So you'll get games in there with the PlayStation Now. You'll get your basically your deals and all that stuff and all the tiers. So just whatever you have today combined. And then the third tier seems to be combining both of the first tiers and then adding the legacy games to it. Now we don't know if they're streaming. We don't know if they're going to be downloadable. We don't know about that. But it sounds like that's the third tier, and they're kind of, I think they're going, and we said this on Friday. It's more of along the lines, and I think Frog, you said it, or it was a super chat from one of the grinders, but it's more about going after Nintendo and seeing what Nintendo was doing with the Genesis, the N64, kind of using their legacy and their subscription. So it's more akin to Nintendo's service, it sounds like.
That's what I think.
Then Game Pass.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what it sounds like. They're going to leverage the older games like what Nintendo's doing in their subscription service. And it's more akin to that than actually Game Pass. So that looked like
I think PlayStation Now can do streaming, and it's not a bad thing. But I think if they're going to rebrand, they're going to have to call it something obviously different than PlayStation Now to get people to attach themselves with some kind of PS Plus model in mind. Yeah. And I think that it'd be streaming, but streaming is okay if you're on the go on your phone. I think if you're in your console, Sony ought to find a way to download your games, whether you can download a stream. I think that it needs to be a way to say, hey, you can natively download this, because I think that's going to help them win customers over, to be able to natively download these titles and have the option to stream. I think that's one thing that the Game Pass, they added to option. Oh, you can stream on the go now.
Yeah.
But if you have this, you can also just play it natively and download it. And I think the bigger thing that Sony could win is Sony figure out a way to native, because I'm pretty sure they could do PS1 and PS2 games, no problem. If Sony can figure out a way to
and what about the trophy stuff? Games, I know that you were,
and I think they will. I think they will add trophies to their PS1 and PS2 games. I have a lot of PS2 games that I own that have trophy support.
Yeah, they did bring some to the PS4.
They just redid the same game with trophy support. Yeah, they put 60 frames, 1080p. So I'm like, hey. And so I think if Sony can find a way to add their PS1, their legacy titles with trophy support, it don't have to be anything complex. Trophy support, and just find a way to have those games natively. I think the PS3 is the hurdle. If they figure out a way to natively do the PS3 download games, at least on PS5, maybe PS4 won't have it, but at least on PS5, I think it's a little bit more attractive to some people, because there are some people who will say, hey, I want to go back and play some of these older games, and the fact that it's in this service, I can go back and get trophies for it. I can go back and relive some of my childhood memories. But if they're just saying, well, it's a streaming service, PS1, PS2, no trophies, people, I'm not interested in. The only way I'm interested in this service is if they have to add the trophy support to the game.
Well, we'll see what they do.
It has to be noted.
Again, like I just think that it was a controlled leak, but I think it's a way of kind of just getting it out there, and then they'll come with the basically, with the rest of it, and they're saying sometime in the spring.
It would be very.
I hope we don't stream PS1 and PS2 games because they're gonna look bad streaming.
No.
Oh man,
it would be very hard pressed for me to buy into a service that doesn't allow me to, one, download my stuff, and then two, if you're not giving me trophy support, I don't really feel like there's much to go back to play. I'm not playing this for just my health. Yeah. I mean, I play Nintendo games on the Switch for my health. And then at the end of the game, and I beat it, it says thank you for playing. I fucking hate Nintendo for doing that. Every time I beat a Nintendo game, what do I get at the end? Not this great cinematic, whatever. Thank you for playing. Motherfucker, really? That's what you give me? Thank you for playing? I'm freaking in my mid-40s. I don't want to see thank you for fucking playing. Nintendo needs to stop doing that shit. But that's a whole nother story. So I think Sony's their whole whatever their service base they have, it has to be really appealing. Because you have a lot of people who won't buy into the service if you can't natively download this shit, and if it doesn't have trophy support, and even let's just say it's not native, but it does have trophy support, I still think it's a lose-lose. I think if they say this is a streaming service, you can only stream, they're not going to win. This is really, and I think they may, like I said, I think they do that because they're looking at what Nintendo's doing, and they're like, shit, we can just do the same thing Nintendo's doing, stream our games, put a little trophy support in there. And this is not for me.
Yeah. We'll see what they do.
I think it may look horrible. It may look horrible native, but it's a simple fact that I can play it there. And, like when I play my Gamepass games, and I noticed something else about service, and people got to be really wary about this. When you're in a service-based model, if your internet goes down, you have no access, even if you download that game, to that game. Because if I'm on Game Pass, and I download a game and I don't have internet connection, I can't play that game.
No, good point. Game night with the 123 with the $5. He goes, I wonder how this combining of two services, if we can call it that, is going to work, considering PS Now is only available in 19 countries. That's a good point because, that's a good point.
So,
if you're making 3 tiers of this service, half of those countries don't. Yeah, because PS Now only rolled out in a few countries. So basically,
exactly.
Number one customer.
I don't know what their plans are with this stuff. I do think it's more of a rebranding because I think it's confusing having the Now and the Plus. And I think Now is like the appendix of their services. Like they could just drop off that thing and just kind of roll it into all this. Like, hey, this is the PlayStation Plus. The thing that has 60 million subscribers. We could just the PS Now.
They may just call it PlayStation Plus Collection because they did that with the PS5.
And maybe they'll roll it out to more countries. Maybe that's the biggest thing because they'll roll it out to more countries. And maybe using the Azure cloud and the power of Satya Nadella and Phil Ness, they're able to get the PS Now, whole thing out to everybody, right? Maybe.
I guess my thing, I look at it like this, Jazz, is how do you keep that legacy, those legacy titles alive? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
And here's the thing. If they listen, here's another question we have to ask. If they do this and they say they had PS1, PS2 games and they put it in a service, do they offer those games in the store where you can buy them individually?
I don't know. There's a lot of questions like that, dude. There's a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's like, hey, there's a game in here. It's a PS2 game, PS1 game with trophies, but I can't individually buy it. So I got to be in this service. And so is that the way they pull you into the service? Because I really don't care. The service has to definitely be something very, very, to me, it's not, I have to find a really quality in it, in the service. And it is not even about quantity, because I look at what Game Pass is doing. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of games in there, but I would say probably 80% of the games in there I don't want to play. I don't care about. And then the other, this
is the thing, and this is why what we said on Friday, Frog, this whole thing is in addition to the traditional games that we're getting. That's the thing. So far, from what we know, this is not compromising the new games that Sony has listed up with Spider-Man, Wolverine, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like those are still coming.
Like
PSVR, those are still coming in the traditional sense. This is all just adding more legacy and adding more service, like more value to the service and different tiers to choose, rather than doing what Microsoft did, where they took everything they ever did in gaming and just funneled it through Game Pass. And we're seeing games compromised and being adjusted accordingly for those service games. And also, too, their number of releases, their types, the games and the structures of these games are being all influenced by Game Pass because they're all in on Game Pass. Sony is not, their services are their services, but they're not compromising their games. And like I said, God of War 2018, they can leverage that now on the PlayStation Plus, the PlayStation Plus collection. They can leverage those games now once they've done their thing. And I think the major point is that these games are selling traditionally very well. And because of that, they're not going to bite off the hand that feeds them and be like, yeah, let's just shove this in a service and monetize it another way. And we'll get into, the next couple of topics of what that kind of entails, especially games that people traditionally played like a full complete game have now been Frankensteined and piecemealed and neutered to monetize. Right. And now there's a pushback because that's not whatever these fans want.
I think the pushback comes if the service isn't done right. And look, I'm a different generation of gamer. I know that. I'm a dying breed. When I put up my Xbox, OG Xbox on Twitter today, I know there were some people on there like, what the fuck is that thing? Like I said, there's some guys and girls on there that they don't know, they've never even played the original Xbox, but they're fans of Xbox somehow. And I can't fault them for that because of their age. But what I will say is, gamers like me and you, we're a dying breed. I think that some of the old models worked for us may not work for the future because the future is technology. So I don't, on one hand, maybe it's not for me. You know how your parents, you had certain music in the 80s and certain rock bands and they're like, oh, that White Snake, that's trash. But for you, that's your thing. You see what I'm saying? And so I think it's maybe we're kind of getting to that point because I look at myself and say, man, I'm going to game until whenever it just says I can't do it anymore or until it's not fun. And I think there will be some point where I'm like, yo, I don't want to stream shit and I just won't play as much. Or either I just won't play at all. I'll stick to my old retro consoles.
But you want to know what, Frog? The streaming, you want to talk about streaming and stuff like that? Like, that's different than the subscription service stuff. But I think, because I could tell you, like, my son playing games, like, he knows when there's lag and there's latency. Like, he knows when something's not hitting right. And if games do that, then that service is not going to be for them no matter what age they are. They're going to come, like, he's playing the Fortnite and Rocket Leagues, and as soon as he's lagging or he's lagging out or there's some latency.
He can tell.
He can tell. And the other thing, too, is when he's playing on a small screen, he don't want to play on a small screen. He wants to play on the TV. So, like, this whole, like, they're all mobile kids and stuff like that. Like, they're not, especially everybody from home and stuff. People have been playing on TVs now. Like, they're not on, like, playing on, like, they could play little games on their phones, but, like, really, they watch videos on their phone but play games on the TV. And I think this whole service model, I think regardless of whose generation it's for, I think it just has to be good. And it has to want people to get pulled in. Look what they just did with Fortnite. Spider-Man's in Fortnite. Do you know how crazy that is, dude? The marketing of Fortnite, the event. I watched the event. Like, it is The Rock is in there. Like, it is just, it's basically,
and I think
it's now a medium of like basically pop culture. Like, that's what it is now. It's not even, it took a life of its own.
Who's to say that, you won't get freaking Sloth from the Goonies in Fortnite?
Dude, you get anybody. You get anybody in Fortnite. And that's the thing that some of these games that people play are trying to chase. But there's only...
You're chasing that Fortnite crowd.
Or the Minecraft crowd. But you can't make every game crowd like that.
You can't make every game. There you go.
You're can't. Right. And the thing is that, I really think, the whole service game works, and there's certain games that that break the mold and transcend across all mediums, phones and PCs
Right.
and stuff like that, like Minecraft did, like Fortnite did.
But you can't do that with every game.
You can't chase that though. See, that's the
like
thing.
The Last
like,
of Us doesn't belong
chase
on a
it.
phone and playing it. It just wouldn't feel right. And I think I will have a hard time trying to wrap my head around how I'm going to play The Last of Us on a phone.
No, and that's where I said, like, we were talking about this on Friday. Again, guys, go check it out. But like we were talking about on Friday, like they were even talking about PSP games. Now think about that on a phone. If they open up PlayStation Now to be on phones, think about PSP games that were mobile games and now they're on phones. And my main point to the discussion we had on Friday before we leave this topic was that Sony has the IP and they've been building the IP all these years, that when they decide to say, you know what, we're going to be more aggressive with our services, they have the IP. Microsoft went aggressive with services without the games, and now people are waiting for these games to come in there. They just promised everything day one without having a list of games or even have the studios to make those games. They had to go buy the studios to get the content that they're promising that's still not ready. So you got to look at what Microsoft has done, and they basically put the cart before the horse. But Sony, just like Disney Plus, has been building legacy IP, building a generation of PS4 of games that people want to play, and now they could put those games in a service to leverage the service. Now, for me, I play those games already. That I don't care about. But the last point I'm going to make on this is that they could utilize PlayStation Game Pass if they're going to be more aggressive with the services and now kind of like position this as a rebranding, and this is our gaming subscription service, and Microsoft has their Game Pass. Then maybe some of the third-party games that Microsoft gets in Game Pass, Sony will start putting them in PlayStation Now or in PlayStation Plus or just in this service to be more aggressive getting those games, which will now leverage subscriptions with that service. And now Microsoft now is back against the wall because it's all dependent on their first-party games. And these other games that Sony's getting, like, maybe was like 12 minutes and little indie games here and there where Game Pass was getting it. Maybe now with Sony, with this new rebranding, is more aggressive with their subscriptions and get some of those indie games to supplement their big blockbuster games coming out. Plus, relying on legacy titles and PS1 and PS2 generation games that people want to play because those games, if you listen, to be honest, I wasn't a PlayStation person, but I could tell you, PlayStation has games back then that people want to play. If you go back and look at Xbox, Blinks and Blood Wake, I like those games, but Sony had some friggin' memorable games that just took them through the generations of the PS2, and I know the PS1 that like definitely, and the PS2, like if they open up that library, yes, like that's some good stuff there that people really want.
And that's funny because I can remember the launch games for the PS2 and one of the games I played.
They have a bigger legacy, I would say, of games than Xbox did.
Yeah, for hours upon hours. I don't know if you remember this game. It was called Sumner. I think it was called Sumner. It was an RPG, and I played Sumner. Oh my gosh. It was a female in the character. And I played that RPG for I swear, probably 80 to 100 hours. I just kept playing it. But I think that,
we'll see what they do with it.
On top of this, I think, the other thing is when we talk about game streaming, because I thought about this for a long time. I said, I don't know why Nintendo hasn't tried it with Nintendo and Super Nintendo games on their phone, because those games the 2D games seem to work well on the phone. Yeah. 3D games, not as much.
Oh, no.
I think that, those 2D games, for them they can make a little NES controller for your iPhone.
Didn't you see that thing, Frog? 20% of people use the touchscreen on xCloud or something like that? Was it 20% or 40%?
Yeah, I saw that, which I don't know. Maybe, like I said, we're a dying breed. Maybe.
No, I'm going to tell you one thing, though. I tried it. So, wait, I'm going to tell you.
Well, here's the thing, Jazz. Here's the thing, Jazz. I guarantee when your children have children, your children's children are going to walk up to your TV and try to touch it like a touch screen, because I've seen children.
No, my daughter does that. She goes and touches the screen. I want this. I'm like, don't touch it, not a touch screen.
Because in her mind, she's so used to touching a touch screen, iPad, tablet, phone. So in her mind, anything she can see, she thinks she can actively touch. Right.
So
and believe me, touchscreen TVs, they already have that stuff.
But to play
I'm pretty
games
sure
on them, though, I'm going to tell you, like,
I don't know.
one of the
that's
things
excessive.
I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I did notice that they do is that some of the games that Microsoft has on xCloud, they customize the controllers. It's not that overlay of that controller. They have it, but basically it is customized to exactly what the game is. Like, it's programmed. So, like, it doesn't say, like, X and A and B. It says, like, shoot, jump, run, and it's all within a certain thing. Like, they format the whole thing, so it's not just a control overlay on the screen. But only some games have this, and they add support as like booster mode and all that other stuff. They add stuff as they're going. But some games that they have this with is like basically they just have it labeled with what you do on it. It's not like A and B and X and stuff like that. It's like you jump, shoot, change weapon, and it's all in a vicinity for your thumb. So it's pretty interesting that they're doing that with the xCloud. But again, it's not all games, and it's if developers want to do it. So it's kind of piecemeal. Like, some have xCloud support, but they don't have the customizable buttons. So then you get your traditional console, like your controller overlay on it. But the thing is, and I mentioned this before. The problem with that is that mobile gamers, and this is a perfect example, they will try it out and do some touchscreen stuff, but not a majority of it, because mobile gamers don't want to be bringing a controller with them. And I think it's really hard to do this because, like, I think that right now the people that are really using xCloud are kind of like the people that just diehard Xboxes and they want to take it on the road, or like overseas where, you know, they primarily do everything on their phone. So like they don't have a console. There's really two huge dynamics, I think. I don't think it's set out there for everybody yet, that everybody really knows what to do. But once you start bringing a strap-on and a friggin' controller with you, the idea of being mobile and accessible goes out the window. Because who's gonna be like, I'm gonna be waiting at a bank, and I'm gonna be like, hey, let me put up my clip and put out my phone. I'm gonna be here for a lot. Nobody's bringing that with their phone. They're just gonna look at their phone and start twiddling around on it.
You know what
That's
I do
where,
when I'm in my doctor's office?
I don't think it's the ideal solution.
When I'm in the doctor's office, DMV, or I'm at an appointment, you know what I mostly do with my phone? Listen to music.
Yeah.
Or
watch video.
Or I'm reading an article about something in the news, or I'm just watching something stupid, a little 2-minute clip, because it's a time waster. I don't have time to sit there and play games on my phones. Now, I'm not saying that people don't, because they got that, what's that, Candy Crush or whatever. People do that. You can play that. And that's one of those games you could play real quick, lock your phone, go about your business. But my whole thing is like 9 times out of 10, like I said, I don't have time for that. Now, if I have grandchildren that's sitting there, yeah, they could probably do that.
Yeah.
It's good for my grandchild. They can sit there and do. I don't have time to do that, because I'm like processing everything that's going around me, trying to make, most of the time I'm out of the house is for something of importance. So I don't have time. I don't have time to sit there and freaking put a strap on my phone and let's pull out this
that
Xbox
Rikishi, the $100 Rikishi controller piece. Like I see that thing, the Rikishi controller.
God,
but I would say maybe a hotel room, but then you got to worry about Wi-Fi, and then you got that latency, because that happens too. Like, I got to be sitting there with the router plugged in my ass to not get a friggin' latency marking. Like you're on the phone and you get that little Wi-Fi thing going there. So like that's why streaming on the console though, it's not too bad when you could plug in right to your gigabyte internet, and now you have access to streamable games to kind of test out. And that's what I do with PlayStation Now. Like, I would test out a game before I downloaded it. That's the only reason why you're streaming. And now that they added that to the Xbox, which is pretty good, because that, I thought it was the first thing they should have done with xCloud. Sell it to you as a way to sample games before downloading. Instead, they try to, again, put in the cart. They are like 4 years. They're like too fast with stuff. Like, and this is my problem. They would talk about everything but the content. Like, you could play here and you could play what, Phil? Oh, the games are coming. They're coming. Once a year, they're going to come. Like Santa Claus. It's like, Phil, what am I going to play? Like, you're telling me about all these services. You put streaming sticks and all this other stuff. What we're going to play? And that's the problem that they had. So they're putting all this publicity out there for something where we still got to wait for the content to come, the desirable content. They finally got some.
Don't you think that also, I guess another point I was going to say, so I know we can move on, but don't you think that also, like when I look at, like, if you're streaming, there's a point I think streaming can work. If you're on a whole, if you're on vacation, you're doing something, and you have your downtime in your room,
Yeah.
and your kid is like sitting there, and you're watching, whatever on TV, and your kid's not want to watch the game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can pull out the phone. There is a point where I think it does work.
That's why I was doing it. That's exactly when I used it.
But I just think that for the most part, for me, as a person, I know myself, and I don't speak for everybody. I don't really see reason to stream on my phone on the go.
Yeah.
Like my consoles are at home, and I'm not on vacation. Most of the time, I'm on vacation to do fun stuff.
You're my number one customer.
Let me go parasailing. Let me go skydiving. Let me go whatever, scuba. Like, I'm not really on my phone a lot. 9 times out of 10, my phone is going to be used to take pictures or listen to music on my vacay, or look up the local tourist spots or something, or off beaten paths from where I am. So I would say 9 times out of 10, I'm not using my phone to play games. I don't know. I think it works, but I don't think it works for everybody. It's good for a road trip for your kids.
We will see where it goes. Yeah, I do think, Sony opening it up, with the PS Plus and things like that. We'll see where it goes from there. Their touchscreen implementation is not as good as Microsoft's. What Microsoft, I said, was customizing buttons for some of the games. Let's see what Sony does and what they're going to do, or they're just going to combine services for marketing. So we got to see what it is. Shout out to iLay Pipe for $2. He goes, "Are you guys playing Chorus yet on PS5? Awesome game." I will be downloading that tonight. That game looks friggin' awesome, and I plan on playing that game. So I will be downloading the Chorus because I have it. I couldn't, it's crazy. I couldn't find it on the store. It didn't show up on the new games. I don't know why. That PSN store, it didn't show up. So I'm definitely gonna play it. I don't know. iLay Pipe, do they? Does it? It didn't say in the details if it uses the adaptive triggers. That game probably would be awesome with adaptive triggers, but it doesn't. It just says Rumble. But I'm definitely gonna be playing that. Nobody streaming bootleg, Joel. That's right. Well, speaking about devs and streaming and the future of games, we got the Ori dev just went wild. I don't know, man. Director of Moon Studios, here he is. Where is he? Let's get this desktop going here. This guy, Thomas Malla, goes after the Phil Ness. And he goes, I never thought it'll be possible with Microsoft that even in today's Microsoft will be okay spending hundreds. So they partnered with I forgot the top where it was. They partnered with Private Division, and I think those are the guys that make don't know the guys that make that Ubisoft game. The what is it? The Private. Yes, they do. The right Private Division makes the Frog went on mute. The Tom Clancy, The Division. I think that's they make the Division. But do they? I don't know. Private Division. I don't know. Grinders, help me out with that one. So he goes, I think Microsoft is in a weird thing. So here we go. I'd never be possible with Microsoft, even today's Microsoft. Would Microsoft be okay spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a game that the developer then also wants to port to the PS5? So I think that's everybody can play together. I think Microsoft is in this weird position between a rock and a hard place where they're saying that this is a vision that they want to see happen in the future. No artificial walls, no boundaries, but then they're not necessarily acting accordingly. I think most because other parties aren't playing along. And I know he's speaking about Sony. Microsoft would probably keep going into this direction if other parties will participate, as in Nintendo and Sony will allow some of their games to be playable on Xbox. But that's just not the case. So he goes on to say, I think Microsoft, he goes, and I get Bungie as to, he goes, these corporations still very much believe in the walled gardens and the scared of change. So be it. And this guy's a little a little wacky here. But I agree, Bungie, and to its own main reasons why we decided to make our next game a Private Division instead of Microsoft. We always got so many gamers saying they would love to play Ori, but hate that they can't play it on PlayStation. Well, why not? Because it is funded by Microsoft, hence they call the shots. Luckily, we got Microsoft to allow us to port Ori to the Switch, but that didn't come for free, and they probably only allowed it because the title was small enough to not cause any fuss. Our next game has a grand vision where we want everyone to be able to play together across all systems, where Moon owns the platform and the IP, and we can steer it in the best direction in order to hopefully make as some people as possible happy without having to tell some of them that they're shit out of luck because of businesses. I believe gamers don't necessarily care about the business part of it all. They just want to play the games that make them happy, and creating a walled garden, you directly or indirectly just fuming the flames of platform hooligans. Man, he went in. And no, what's interesting too is it's another thing, and this is something that points out that it's interesting. When you look at a studio like Ted Price's Insomniac, right? Why they put Sunset Overdrive on Xbox is because they wanted to build a game that they had the IP for, and like Sony wanted the IP, I guess, and that Microsoft was willing to make the game, but they could keep it. And you look at these studios, and you look at Moon Studios, who's known for Ori 1 and 2, excellent rated game, and the thing is that they want to expand this platform, but they won't put it on. They can't put it everywhere because Microsoft funded the game and made it the IP, right? So a lot of these studios really don't. They have the reputation, but individually, if you just look at Moon Studios without Ori, what are they? And because they don't have control over that IP, technically they're not really of value to this. Like, they can make the game, but without having that control, they're kind of just like a body without a skeleton. And the thing is they want to make a game now that they will keep that. And also too, I really think that they like that PlayStation money. They want that PlayStation money. They see all those people play. Like, come on. They put Ori. Listen to this. Tell me if this is wrong, right? They put Ori on the Switch, on PC, and on Xbox. And they're sitting there going, well, we're going private division because we want to put it on PlayStation too. And like, to think about it, like, they pretty much were allowed to be as much as possible, but they missed out on that PlayStation. And is the I really think to these developers, like, PlayStation is the golden goose egg, where people spend the money and they buy things. And I think that, remember, Ori was in Gamepass and all this other stuff. And, I really think that Sony is like that golden goose egg. Like, the people just spend money. Because it's just like, I can't find a good analogy right now, but it just seems to me that the PlayStation platform has built itself as like the rich communities, or just like a community that just spends money and buys games. And I just feel that, and I guess Switch is like that as well. But I just think it's very interesting that they pretty much had it everywhere, but they're making such a big point as like, oh, we got to get this on PlayStation too. Like, so many people missed out. And maybe it's just a PR stunt to say why they went with Private Division, but he sounded pretty vocal about Microsoft creating this walled garden and them going with, Private Division to kind of fund their game. And that's a good point. It rubs lotion on the skin. He says, I'm glad Microsoft didn't buy Moon Studios, because that's what people thought, that they were going to buy them. And instead, now their next big game, they want to go big and go across all the platforms with it. And they go with Private Division rather than going with Microsoft. And it kind of shows you, though, is that this whole, and this is where the Phil Ness comes in,
Oh, yeah. You caught me. You caught my Phil Ness. When I say games go everywhere, I just mean everywhere I am.
Man, that evil Phil Ness. He the hair stands up on the back of my neck when he comes in the show, Phil Ness. But yeah, when he says, when we all play, we all win, he means when we all play everywhere that Phil Ness is, they win. That's the thing about Phil. Like, he's talking about one world, but he won't put his games on PlayStation. And why should he? But you shouldn't be talking about games everywhere when you're really not really putting your games everywhere. You're putting everywhere games that Microsoft is. And maybe you put a little bit on PlayStation, on the Switch, like he said. Because it's a small game and it won't cause much fuss. But if they put it on PlayStation, that would have been a big deal, I guess. That fragrance. That's right. As Jay Barry said. Shout out to Jay Barry. You know? Yeah, our game is played the most and played where Gamepass is. Like, that's the thing. So that's why I don't fall for that Phil Ness when he's like, we play everywhere. It's like, okay, well then tell me about Starfield. You bought $7 billion and bought that studio just to say Starfield, which was coming to everything, just to not have it go on a PlayStation. But you're the one that's writing on controllers and signing your name to it. When we all play, we all win. Oh, that's some grade A Phil Ness right there. Signing goddamn 20-year-old controllers. Saying when we all play, we all win. But hey, Starfield is only over here. Really? So you bought studios to get... Starfield was going everywhere. Now we're not. We spent... Okay, fine. You want to play the exclusive game? Let's play the exclusive game. But guess what, bitch? Don't start signing goddamn controllers saying when we all play, we all win. That's some bullshit. Because exclusives always mattered. That's what grinded my gears when Phil will talk that stuff. And all the Xbox people will love that Phil Ness and smell it. And they'll be, ooh, he's right. Walled gardens. Walled gardens. But the dude is creating a walled garden. Exclusives matter. That's the thing, they matter. So when we all play, we all win is a bunch of hocus pocus bullshit. We're putting our games everywhere that Microsoft touches. So don't give me that bullshit, because you're not putting your games on PlayStation. You're taking them off of PlayStation. So, it's a bunch of bullshit. They still believe in that walled garden stuff. And you see, the celebrations, the nipple rubbing. When Starfield was announced as exclusive as an E3 moment. Oh, give me those nipples. Those nipples got extra hard. Yeah, exclusive. Oh, really? Because I remember the last 3 years where exclusives don't matter. Exclusives don't sell. It's the multiplats. It's, when everyone plays, we all win. Walled gardens. A bunch of horse shit. Because you didn't have anything worth a damn. Oh, but Starfield, which you don't even know what it is. That's going to be next year's tune. Starfield. The whole year we're going to find out what the hell this game is. Wait till E3. That's when co-op is coming. There's always a catch. There's always a Phil Ness. You never trust that Phil Ness. But yeah, there's some Ori Dev Toodaloo. Speaking of shutdowns and gatekeeping, Lord, oh Lord, Frogz, did you see the Halo Reddit shutdown over the weekend on the multiplayer? Goodness gracious. Lordy. So,
yes.
No, man. Oh, man. I got to get... Shit, I didn't get all the tweets up here. But Frogz, give me your impression while I go find these tweets.
Man, let me tell you, man, there's some sick people out there. And it just... I think that... Man, there's some people out. How can I say this, man?
But did you see both conversations, though? Did you see the both?
Man,
did you see both?
Man, I saw a lot of stuff. There's some sick individuals out here, and there is a mental health crisis. And I think this generation of people that are growing up in their mid-20s and below. Their parents, I don't know if it's their parents or something in the food or what's going on, but they must have ate a lot of paint chips or did a lot of opiates or something in Vietnam, because there's something going on wrong with some of these kids growing up, man. There's something going wrong.
Well, so basically, all sides went bonkers, all right? So the initial tweet was here, but wait a second. The other thing, though, I don't all the stuff that really shut down. I think there were threats and things like that. That's some bullshit. Okay, that goes too far. But what I want to talk about was what led to that, because I think there are extremists out there. Again, the internet's a piece of shit. Again, and the anonymity of the internet make people do some stupid ass shit. But what I want to do is talk about what transpired, because there really is legitimate concern for what is going on here. And the responses from Bungie, Jesus, I wish, 343 were very kind of like, I will read them, but they're a little kind of like, you will wait and you will like it. We're working our asses off. We're on, like, it was a little bullshit on how they responded to some of this feedback. And people just don't want to accept it. And that's what I want to talk about. And, you know, and the thing is like, the threats and all that other shit, that's bullshit. And that should not exist. And you're a bitch ass if you're doing that kind of shit. And that's bull. You don't do that. But the conversation that started this was pretty crazy. So, like, if you look here, it starts, again, with the friggin' Battle Pass. And I'm going to just leave this here. I talked about the goddamn Battle Pass. Enough is enough. But the feedback about this Battle Pass is our boosters and bootleg Joels. The feedback about this Battle Pass is that the things that you earn are not good. The stuff that they want is behind a paywall. It's in the marketplace that you have to buy it. The armor that they're showing is not even earnable per se. A lot of it is behind in the marketplace to buy. Secondly, the progression system is all busted. They know this. They say this, that like, we feel your pain. You made the game. You did this. Why are you acting like a third party who just walked into 343 going, oh, ship it? Oh, shit, I feel their pain. Bullshit. You made this. And I said this before, this Battle Pass, this progression has all been built with this. This has been calculated to the T. You want to know all the meetings they were having? It wasn't about how much hair to put on bootleg Joel. The meetings were about, how do we get money for this game that we're giving away for free because Satya says everything needs to be in this service because of Phil Ness? How do we make our money back? That's what we need to talk about. I don't care about bootleg Joel's chin hair. I don't care about Craig getting a little bit of mustache and a BG's. Yahoo! I don't care about that. How do we monetize? How do we sucker the money out of the suckers and the whales? That's what they want to know. So this is the thing. It started with the playlists, right? I'm willing to forgive the lack of playlists. I'm willing to forgive the lack of staple game modes. I'm willing to forgive terrible netcode. I'm even willing to forgive the lack of anti-cheat. Another thing that they knew was going to be a problem with the free-to-play. We know that was going to be a problem. Well, then why was it not in there? And then they go back to this whole it's a beta bullshit. But buy our Game Pass. Oh, give us a 9 out of 10. It's a beta, though. Well, it's a beta when it wants to be a beta, and it's a fucking game when it wants to be a fucking game. This bullshit. However, I cannot forgive the setting up the shop took priority over all of them. And you want to know what? That is totally true, because guess what was the thing that was working? Guess what was working day one in August? They gave you bogus money to sample, to use. They wanted you to buy the battle pass, buy the content. They gave you that stuff. That shit was working day one. But hell, if they friggin' had all this bullshit. Oh, but then we heard it was a beta back then. Oh, it's just a beta. Oh, it's just a beta.
I hate the fact that
it's beta when it wants to be a beta.
I hate the fact that people are saying sick shit, like burn your studio down, want to do this.
No, that's bullshit. Right? Let's talk about what happened, though.
But,
that's the thing.
But on the flip side, the same community of people who are fanboying for this game, saying it deserves a 9, the IGNs, and I'm calling it what it is. This multiplayer is definitely not a 9. It's a 7 at best, and it's because of all the minors. People will say, "Well, it's free to play. What do you expect?"
There we go. It's a free to play when it wants to be a free to play.
Well, this is why we didn't want Halo to be free to play, because now it has a lot of problems. And look, now it has a lot of problems. And when people are complaining about it, this is the response you get back saying, "Well, hey, we're willing for." look, the bottom line is there's a problem with the free to play model of this game, and I don't just want to hear people say it's just a fun experience and it's Halo's back. No, the being free to play has made it worse in a lot of ways, in a lot of things, because what I value my time. Let me put it to you like this: I value my time. It's not that I don't have fun when I do play it, but the point and the fact of the matter is when I look at what you gave me free to play, I'm like, okay, what you gave me free to play, and I spent 69 on Call of Duty sitting over there. Shit, let's see. I spent 69, they gave me 20 maps. They gave me all these different game modes. They gave me all these weapons, all this progression, all this stuff. I got a battle pass. I got zombies, I got a story mode. You gave me free to play. How long am I really gonna stay here without spending money? You want me to spend money, and I don't want to spend money because the stuff you're giving me is left shoulder pad, right shoulder pad, left knee, right knee. I
Yeah.
don't want that shit.
Mhm.
So my thing is, I respect what they created. I think the way they implemented it is really bad. And a lot of review sites, and I can't wait till we get down to the Halo.
Oh, we're going to the reviews. But let me.
A lot of review. Here's the thing. A lot of review sites. If a lot of people listen to what these review sites said about the multiplayer, they jumped over the whole freaking conversation about the money.
With everything. Yeah.
They
right. They're
completely
fixing it. They're addressing it.
Oh, well, it plays well, and it gives you enough game
transparent. Like all this bullshit. All this meta shit.
Who has played on that map launch and thought that was a good map? Where one side of the board is power weapons and vehicles.
Frog, there is no.
He thinks that's a good fucking map.
The best review was 100%. The game's not perfect. What? Right under the 100. Excuse me? VG 24/7.
I don't.
Game's not perfect. 100 out of 100.
There are a lot of sites I look at, and I just look at
bogus bullshit.
My head,
but
I can say for myself and just.
I don't get into the reviews yet, Frog. I got one. Just read what Gerard said. So, like, the complaint was with the playlist because people like, "Where's Slayer?" I don't want to play objective modes and stuff like that, and I want to just do a Slayer playlist, right? And you look here, and this is what he says, right? Gerard is that guy that one of the devs for the thing. He goes, players been wanting a Team Slayer playlist. Now, mind you, this game, Compost has 6 years to make, 10 years to fix it. That's right. 6 years to make. Mind you, this is the same studio that did Master Chief Collection with Slayers and big team battles across 4 Master Chief games. They made Halo 5 that had big team battle arenas. They had Forge mode. They had Warzone. They had the paintball arena shooter. They also made Halo 4. Team Slayer, all this other stuff. Keep that in mind. We had 20 years of Halo with Team Slayer was in it. Team Objective, Team Slayer. In it. Every game. Listen to what he says now. 20 years later. Players have been wanting to see a Team Slayer playlist. And while it may be added eventually, it's not coming right away. Gerard said this, we're still having discussions around feasibility. Yes, this is absolutely a hot topic and something the team is aware of. We would love to have modes and experiences that meet the players' expectations versus the backlash situation we're in today. I don't believe anyone at 343 thought not having Slayer was a good idea.
I do.
Wait, he's not done. We have plenty of people working their asses off for years to try to deliver the best Halo game they can amidst very challenging circumstances, but I will try to at least provide some context to those who are interested. Gerard explained that the playlists in Halo at launch were always meant to represent a measured approach. Never go half measures. Remember that. Never go half measures. Where do we get that? Breaking Bad. Never do half measures. We have UI limit. Hear this. We have UI limitations with the game right now in the way the number of playlists that are exposed. We have complex and not ideal progression and challenge systems intertwined in playlists and modes that are not necessarily trivial to decouple and change. Yes, the entire challenge system, progression system needs a lot of work, something the team is acutely aware of and prioritizing. The team's plans for a Slayer playlist, I think, are more robust than we might suffice for an interim solution. I love the ideas and some of the variants that they're working on. All these require tuning and, most importantly, testing. QA is a huge dependency and is a critical part of the development pipeline. They got to test Slayer. Are you kidding me? The developer went in to say that 343 is down thinking if it would be possible to add a vanilla Slayer playlist and launch it sooner than the full thing. Half measures.
Wow.
I think the main hurdle that needs to be addressed, this is all quotes, and may require more time is feasible for the holiday break as a knock-on effect to the challenges needing also to reassess quick play and what becomes. Historically, a Slayer-only playlist and an objective-only playlist always resulted in objective playlists quickly becoming unhealthy, and maybe we inevitably have no choice but to go down that route until more robust systems are available. Now comes the kicker. All right, so everybody spread those legs, because the kick is coming to the nuts, because this is the real reason. This is where the real money for the movie is made.
Never underestimate the power of the Schwartz.
It's here we go. If you want to have remnants of Xbox is back, you want to know what Xbox back is? Read the first sentence here. Gerard went on to say that it's simply not true that developers can push a button. Where do we hear that before? Remember? We can't just flip a switch, Major Nelson to Angry Joe. We can't just flip a switch. Flips the switch. The next week they said, yeah, we're done with all this DRM stuff. This dude says we can't just simply push a button. Please. At the scale and complexity of this game, and every change that has a monumental impact in a negative way without extensive testing, triage these feedback. This is to add Slayer, Frog. Holy shit, what happens if I say I want to add infection? This guy might put his head between his legs and fucking dig a hole. Jesus, this is Ed Slayer. He's going on a fucking tirade. Triaging these feedback issues are what we can do now. This is what the team's doing and continuing to do. Everything has to be tested. Everything has downstream dependencies. And wait, he goes, I don't expect everyone to believe. So everybody now is like, bullshit. Like, you're just doing this, right? Then he gets pissed. So wait, I read his friggin' thing. So where did he say about the other part? Wait, he says, oh man, where's the other guy? Is this the quote? Dude, where he's like, it is. Here it is. This is it right here. Oh, goodness gracious. Now you want to know where the reason why for all this bullshit to Ed Slayer. Here it is, right here. Grinders. It's a wrap, Captain Crunch. Hit that like button, Grinders. We're grinding. Here we go.
Grindhouse barking.
There we go. They know. They heard me. They know it's time. They know it's time.
It's time.
What the hell is this bullshit? There we go. Gerard says he hears the concerns of some of the fans of Halo Infinite multiplayer adapting a free-to-play business model that focuses on microtransactions. Here's his quote. I understand where you're coming from, especially with a 20-year established franchise with a long-standing legacy. Where did you hear that, Grinders? Yeah, you heard it here. Exactly. Free-to-play has been a huge boost to growing the player base, and we've seen a huge amount of new players entering the franchise for the first time. But this is a business. The servers you play on cost money to operate. The studio that develops and maintains the games cost money. Battle Pass and premium customizations is the model for the game today. Is there room to continue assessing the overall economics, and value for players? Absolutely, and that's an area the team is consistently monitoring and learning. The creation of cosmetics and the Battle Pass have absolutely nothing to do with something like a playlist. That's bullshit. That content was created ages ago. It's static. This wasn't done instead of playlist. It was a priority to make sure that the game would generate revenue. Of course. There it is. The free-to-play model affected it. That's why I said it here. Everything that people are complaining about the Battle Pass and all the bitches saying that it's a beta, everything was fine-tuned perfectly. They're acting like with hands in their pants. Oh, we hear you. We hear you. We heard you. We fixed it. Remember, we heard you, console, the Xbox One X? We heard you. We sold you a 900p piece of shit. We heard you. 10 out of 10 confirming, Zen. That's right, Jose. That's right. 10 out of 10. There it is. We hear you. They're in the same pain as you. Dude, this is pathetic. This is to add Slayer to the goddamn game after 20 years. Because it's a free-to-play model. Everything with that Game Pass, the leveling up, the content, the way it's delivered, the challenge system, all was done intentionally. This was all done to make money. Of course, everything we do is to make money. But what the problem is yeah, they were not making Slayer playlists. We hurt you, exactly. They're not making Slayer playlists in lieu of the Battle Pass. Oh, no. But the problem is they can't implement. So, like, he's truthful here, saying that, hey, we are not prioritizing, Battle Passes over playlists. But the problem is the Battle Pass, and the monetization is why they can't add Slayer. Because the leveling up system is broken, because the leveling up system is random. It is randomized bullshit of challenges that are not associated with specific game modes. If you put yourself, the next problem would be if they put a Slayer only list. All the challenges you might get will say, get a win in oddball, get a win in strongholds, capture the flag 3 times. You imagine having all those challenges and you're playing a Slayer playlist, you'll never level up. And that's the broken system because the challenges are random. The way, even when we did the event challenges just showed up willy-nilly. They were randomized. You could be playing 5 matches and not get a challenge event. The problem is the progression is not tied into your performance. And because of that, it's dependent on the game modes in order to get the leveling up. So if they introduce this in the DNA of adding a whole new Slayer playlist, it messes up their challenge system, which is broke to begin with. And he acknowledges that. And know what else? Grinders, go back and watch my initial stream back in August when they announced this beta when it wasn't even a beta. It was an alpha tech test. They were pulling that. They were slinging that shit back then. It's just a tech test. Why are you complaining? It's a tech test. Dude, the shit in that tech test is the same bullshit that we got now. The fuck are you talking about? Tech test. I said it back then. The battle system is broke. You got no XP. It's a tech test. Don't worry about it. They knew this shit. They just looked the other way. And they were hoping that you forget about it. Well, the Halo fans didn't forget about it. And they got visceral. And they shut the shit down. Because they're asking for simple things. And I told you this, Grinders. I told you this. Microsoft is not fighting Sony. Microsoft's not fighting Nintendo. Microsoft is fighting itself. Because it has a whole group of dedicated fans that grew up with these games, and Microsoft is pulling the okie dokie. Because they are taking games that people got this content for free. They earned it. They played all these modes. It was feature complete day one. And now they've piecemealed it. And it's not even an easy fix. And they sound, and this is the thing that grinds my gears about their responses, they sound incompetent. They sound like they were given a dirty hand and they're just passing the buck to us, the consumer. And just say it's free to play, so shut the fuck up. That's it. That's the excuse.
It's pretty sad.
It is. Their responses are totally sad. Their responses sound like they're like, we knew this was a problem, but and maybe some people inside Frog thought it was a problem. And meanwhile, they're like, no, it's not. Trust me, it'll work. And now they're seeing the people fighting back and they go, see, I told you it was a problem. You guys didn't want to listen to me, Phil. And execs. Playing
this game and not having a really good progression system, it does hurt the game. And the excuse that it's free to play, I've heard so many Xbox centric podcasts give excuses and try to make excuses. It's not good for it to be a free to play model. I'm not saying you don't want to make money, but I think that when you make an excuse for such a premier It's such a prestigious title, such a title that you look at
This
and
is
it's
it, Frog. This is
revered
the
as
top.
like,
This is the creme de la creme.
I
There's nothing above
how
this
do
right now.
you make excuses for this instead of that? I honestly think that the Xbox, the true Xbox fan base should be in an uprising. They should say,
I
hey,
agree. I
you
know.
and the reason is because when you don't say shit and you just accept it and you just say, oh, it's good because it's fun
It's
and the
free.
gameplay is it's free. If this is really what you want, don't expect this game to live that long. Expect this game to die. You know
It
why?
is, Frog.
And I'm gonna tell
It's
you why.
trying to. It's
And I'm gonna
hard to
tell
hit
you this. I'm gonna tell
100,000
you
each night.
but here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you this, Jazz. Expect the PC players to really upkeep those numbers just because they got a free Halo game. They didn't have Halo 5 on PC, and people are shouting for joy and pushing their hands to the ceiling because they're like, oh, look at the numbers the players is doing. Yeah, that's because it's on PC. Let's be real. Halo 5 wasn't on PC, you know? And my whole thing is I really think it's disgusting. In a sense, how this game came out, and it didn't have a good progression. Like I enjoy the game playing it, but I'm disappointed after I play a game and I see I get 50 points or 100 points. I'm like, what am I really fucking doing here? Like
Yeah.
I jump in there and I'm like, I got to look at my daily,
Progression's broke,
focus on
man.
my daily, and also it's broken.
But
It's
it is
broken.
broke. But the thing is like people
There's
again.
no
The
look,
honeymoon is
hold on.
winding down, and they want more game modes, more maps, more stuff.
No.
And you
Look,
know,
let me tell you,
they're jumping through hoops, going, guys, we're working on it.
not only
It's built into
Jazz,
the DNA.
but Jazz, not only is there no progression, you gave me 7 maps, you gave me minimum game modes.
Exactly.
Like,
You knew what you were giving
then
us.
my whole thing is what blows my mind is they could have just took. I'm gonna be honest with you. They could have said, "Fuck it, we're gonna take the Halo 5 maps and just throw in there until we can get some more maps
Forge
for
is
the
not
game."
coming to
So at
next
least
year.
no, what I'm saying is they could have took some of those Halo 5 maps and just redid them, threw them in there and said, look, hey, we're going to give you some of the classic Halo 5 maps, some of the classic Halo 3. They didn't even, I honestly think, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think them going free to play hurt this game more than anything. I think that it wasn't ready for prime time. I think this whole game wasn't ready for prime time.
Yeah.
Even as well as it scored, and we're gonna get into
We're getting into that.
Metacritic. Not only what I'm gonna say is this game. I'm gonna save that part. It wasn't ready for prime time because
No, it doesn't sound like a Frog, right? What I just read, did that guy sound like it was ready for prime time, Frog? What I just read.
The core features of this game aren't there. There's just a lot of things are missing, and I can't stand listening to a Xbox centric podcast that call themselves fans of this console and fans of this game, but they won't speak the truth about it. They'll just keep lying and oh my god.
Look at that. The game night 1, 2, 3. The $5 it goes. IGN's review. Story falls short for new and veteran players, but it's well worth the 6-year wait. 9 out of 10. Dude, there's some hypocritical stuff. The reviews, we'll get into the reviews. My goodness. And you know what? Maybe we'll roll right in. Well, I wanted to talk about these other two things because the review stuff.
Talk about Horizon real quick.
Horizon, yeah. Let's talk about yeah. Because that's how I want to talk about let's clean our palates, grinders. Hit that like button. We're gonna take an intermission and clean our palates of the dirtiness of unfinished games and just like excuses, and we heard you, and we feel your pain, and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, you made this game. You made this, and you feel it's gonna take time. We're working on it, priorities. Well, the March co-op update turned into June. Sorry about that. What the come on.
You know what? Tom Post-Smurf, he put a good one in the chat. What would this have looked like if it launched last year?
Oh my god.
Dude. This game, the multiplayer. Oh my god, this game would have been bad.
They took the hair off of Bootleg Joel and they put it on Craig. That's what they did in a year.
I mean, there's some. Oh my gosh, man.
I don't even know, dude. If the grinders are gonna stay, we're gonna go into that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Jed. When you complain about it,
you can't.
Do you think they
You
think,
can't
oh, you're
complain.
just a
Oh,
Sony
you're a hater.
fanboy and
Come
you're a
on,
hater?
man. I know where we
And I'm
came
like,
from.
can we get past that? Like
No.
I love
That's a
Halo.
defense
And
mechanism.
this is not my Halo. This is not the way it should be. This is in all ways you look at it, Halo 5 was a better multiplayer game.
Yeah, Frog, here's the numbers, right? And this is the people like, why are you bringing up Steam numbers? Tons of people playing this on this stuff. You want to know why? Because these were the same numbers when it hit 272 that everybody was rubbing their balls about. Just Halo hit 272,000. Holy shit, Halo's bigger than ever. Halo's back, Master Chief. Oh, but now when the numbers are dropping and dropping and dropping, now it's like, why you bring these numbers up? Why are you going to bring these numbers up? Well, you're the ones that introduced me to this goddamn thing because I didn't even know anything about it. When it was 272, we had friggin' Benji Sales, my balls, everybody jumping out the window. Going, oh shit, fucking Halo's back. Well, now what happened? Where did all these people go? 3,000. Where did they go? Come on. Where did they go? Oh, but we can't show this now because the numbers are not good anymore, right? Oh, Halo, it's supposed to be 10 years. It's 2 weeks. 10 years. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. What happened? What happened? I just want Slayer playlist in the game. Oh, it's monetization, the progress. Here's some 10 XP. Here's some Phil Ness donuts at 300 XP every time you stand in a corner and jerk off. Here you go. This is it. Look. The numbers. What is it? 10 o'clock. What's going on, folks?
Jeez.
93,000 people right now. What happened? 272. What are we doing here?
I
What
said
happened? Look at the thing. Look at this Phil Ness drop off.
What did I say?
What happened?
What happened with this free-to-play model?
Here we go. Ready?
Successful.
Woo! But don't show these numbers anymore. Meanwhile, all over Twitter, I was hearing all about 250 people playing right now. Halo's back. One night only, bitch. Where's the Halo's back now? Showing sustained number. What happened? Like, come on. You want to shove these numbers up everybody's face and justify why this franchise is back? And tell us this is the multiplayer? I can tell you right now, when I played Halo 5, it didn't last a week. It didn't last 2 weeks. When I played Halo 4, I was playing that for months on end. When I played Halo 3, that was my game to go to every friggin' month. We've seen this happen in Gears 4 and Gears 5, Frog. Gears 4 had a shorter length than Gears 3.
Quick.
Gears 5 died faster than Gears 4.
Gears 5 died quick.
What happened? What are we doing here? The biggest Halo game ever. Man. You know why? Because you have a bunch of people, freeloading people, they're going to download the game and play it and go, eh. There was nothing to keep them hooked. It was the same bitch-ass missions. No choice in maps. No new game modes. Nothing. And it's going down faster than a bitch. There it is. Look at this bitch.
And I tell you, all these people who saying they're loving it and this and that, I can't wait to see your
they're dropping faster than a bad burrito. Look at this.
Because I tell you what.
And they shut down the Halo Reddit at 93, Frog.
I'm looking at my player list, and I'm looking at some of the people who claim they love this game, and I don't really see you getting these achievements out here on this Halo game. I'm out here put work in, and I don't see these people out here putting this work in. I mean, like, you know, I might be wrong. Let's see, there's 1,600 achievements, and I already got, 38? So I got a gamer score of 435.
But Frog,
you know?
I understand.
I just don't get it.
But these numbers were numbers that were celebrated 2 weeks ago, and now you're toxic if you refer to these charts now. But meanwhile, these charts were showing the success of these games, and I said this on here. It was premature success. You need to see who's staying. What's the hook? Here's Forza Horizon 5, Game of the Year, right? They got 14,000 people right now. They had their highest was 81. Their 24-hour peak was 21,000. They lost 60,000 in like, look, boom, there it goes.
Yo, I got people on my friends list to put. Let's see, one guy
like,
got 15 minutes, another person 19 minutes, 19 minutes, 30 minutes, 33 minutes, 40 minutes.
These are people that
minutes.
bought the game too. This is
No,
Steam.
this is somebody.
This is not even Game Pass.
33 minutes? No. Wow. See, I see somebody on my list that talks a lot, man. See,
I'm telling you, man.
That's not. Hey,
People
some
don't
of these
play.
people, man.
But Frog,
wow.
this is Steam, and this is people that bought the game on Steam. This is not Game Pass numbers. So these are people that spent money on the game and they're not playing. So
yeah, these are people who download it and wow.
But the point I'm making with this stuff is that these numbers was I'm not fishing for these numbers. All I'm saying is these numbers were celebrated 3 weeks ago.
I don't think
2 weeks
you have
ago.
to fish for it.
No,
it's
but these numbers
obvious.
were shoved all over Twitter. Like the game is success. They're back. All right, wrap it. You know how everybody just wants to say Microsoft has xCloud to beat out Stadia. It's done. Like, you know, like ignore the competition. Basically, they just want you to see the starting number on day one and then go, yep, 81,000. 5 million people. Remember, there were like 11 million people playing the game. Remember, we broke 11 million people playing the game. There's 14,000 people right now. Where's the other 10,990,000? Are they on Xbox? Frog, there's 14,000 people playing now. Where's the other 10 million?
I don't even know how to call it, man.
Frog, you want to know why? Because guess where they got that million number from, Frog? Do you know where they got those millions numbers for on Forza? This is what just drives me crazy because they got it from the fucking scoreboard. That's where that number was coming from. That everybody kept taking a picture of. When you completed a race, it said you're the top 15% out of 10 million people. It's a fucking scoreboard number. That's where they got it from. And then Forza said 10 million people played, but the number that everybody was sharing that kept growing was a cumulative scoreboard. That's what that number was from. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad game. But what I'm saying is, that because Microsoft does not share the sales and does not tell us how good these games are going, we have no indication, and this is all we got, to know if this Game Pass, their games are even doing well. And then hopefully it shows up on MPDs.
You're saying the same thing I'm saying with Halo. There's a lot of shortcomings, and for a game that's supposed to be on that same tier as a God of War or Uncharted or Zelda,
it's the best
or Mario,
that they got, Frog. That's it.
I've never seen Uncharted or God of War. Even when they revamped God of War, it was like, holy shit! Like people thought it was gonna fail because he couldn't jump. It was kind of over the shoulder, and that game came out and just blew people's minds. And I'm not saying that Halo's not gonna blow my mind when I play it. I try to stay away from just listening to a lot of reviewers. I listen to
it got really weird. Yeah.
I listen to ACG and I listen to a couple of people and I read a little bit of snippets. But I said, once again, with the exception of two people that I trust, a lot of people contradicted themselves in the reviews. IGN, GameSpot, a lot of these freaking Xbox they contradicted themselves on their reviews a lot.
Let's clean our palettes. Yes, they did. We're gonna get to the reviews after we clean our palettes.
Yes. So did you see that Horizon Forbidden West when she dove under the water? Oh my god!
The main point that I want to bring up here is
somebody said, "Don't forget the Shit Space Engine."
Oh, Shit Space Engine! Don't worry, we're gonna show Shit Space Engine.
You mean the Shit Space Engine?
But what grinds my gears so much, and people go like, "What grinds you up?" Is the regression? Is the new games of Halo? What is we're asking for Slayer. These are things that have been in there, and Bonnie said it before, and I've done it on this channel so many times. We're gonna scale back. We're going to see what works. And like Halo 5, we'll always add later. And I am sick and tired of Microsoft talking about being on all these subscriptions, wanting more money for new consoles, and having the games come out and they're scaled back. They're taking
let me tell you something,
out.
Jazz. I purchased a whole controller for my Xbox just for this one game because I really intend to really enjoy it. And I'm not saying I'm not going to enjoy it. But it's a Thrustmaster eSwap. It's
I saw that where you can swap the things.
Yeah, So yeah, because I'm gonna play it symmetrically. You know, it's an Xbox controller. I'm gonna play my sticks across from each other like I'm on a PlayStation. Because I kind of since I use the PlayStation so much, I was like, I might as well get a controller that I can just adapt to. And it's nothing that is totally wrong with the Xbox controller outside of the real clicky directional pad. That thing is horrible sounding. I'm
Oh
playing
yeah.
games and people like, and people, and this always happens. I'm playing a game and people are like, "Are you playing a fighting game?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm on my Xbox." They're like, "Damn, that controller's loud." I'm like,
Yeah, it
"Yeah."
is. So
Look at
listen.
this
So
clip. Look at
Frog,
that
look at
dinosaur.
this. So where you see if you just read this blog and you go another example, and I've done this before. Sony again calculated. We said they're quiet,
Man,
but they knew they drop a Horizon
calculated as
blog
fuck.
right when a friggin' like they knew that this shit was coming out, like with Halo stuff. They're like, hey,
Yep.
don't forget us, right? So they go here. Another example that is more machines are now capable of
Yep.
swimming and have the ability. More stuff. That's all I keep seeing with Horizon. Is like, what we took before is we're doing more. We're adding. We're making this bigger, better, more dynamic, more incredible that this game is, because that's what a new game with a new hardware should be. Instead of saying, well, Slayer's gonna take time, it's embedded in the DNA, and it's a monetization free. Look, just go back and read like what Gerard said about Halo, and then come and read
Yeah.
about what they're saying about Horizon. Look at it's everything is
Yep.
more. The AI team played a big role in improving the combat system, especially when it came to increasing the challenge level. We wanted enemies to feel more authentic, more by improving the fluidity and continuity of motion, like making enemies transverse on rugged terrain. The AI is already supported with dynamic terrain changes. Look at this. Just look at it. I don't have to read it. Just look. This is better than the first one.
When you're playing a game, then you get a sequel. Usually people say if the
I'm going
first
full
game is
screen on this
good,
baby, and this is not even high 4K.
look, the
Look
first
at
game
this.
is if it's good, right? The sequel usually is like, holy crap! It's like the epitome of like they learned everything. Like when you play Gears of War, you're like, this is good. When you play Gears of War 2, you're like, yes, they learned everything wrong and they fixed it. But and I think Sony kind of does that. I don't know. I think Halo, and a lot of franchises with Microsoft, they need to take a step back, a real
Well, I
big
don't know
step
why
back.
they're stepping back.
No. When I mean step back, I mean they need to take those franchises and shelve them and create new ones. And like Gears, I don't think we need another Gears for quite some time because they just don't do well.
Well,
They're good for the
I'm just
moment.
tired of scaled back
and,
shit.
and look, they're good for the moment. Of course, I'm gonna buy them because I like the franchise, but they just don't give me that. Same with Halo. Like they say it took 6 years to make this game. It needed another year
You want to
in
see something,
freaking
Frog?
in the oven baking.
Yeah, well, my problem is that they keep saying like was scaled back, and that's what people are frustrated for. Imagine if you got Horizon and the dev is like, "We hear you, Aloy can't swim now. We could add it later. She could only just be in shallow ponds right now. We're gonna add a whole underwater world later, but for now at launch,
The game is not finished.
just Frog. What happens if this blog right here was like, we wanted to add
They're like, we're
swimming.
sorry to announce the Aloy can't swim
Imagine.
due to and this. What's crazy, Jess? Imagine that they were able to scale this to a base PS4.
That's even more insane because there's no
That's
excuse
impressive.
now that Halo is a cross-gen game. But Frog,
Well,
imagine if they said that, because that's the shit that's coming out of Microsoft's mouth with their
yes.
game. Imagine if they
Do you
said
think-
here, Frog, we're not
do
going to
you
have
think-
swimming. We're going to add it later.
Do you think that the reason Halo is having a problem is because, I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to give them a bone here because they're on so many consoles and PC.
Frog, you said the answer to your own question. There's too much Microsoft and Xbox. You said it. You that was your quote, and that is the reason why we're in the state that we're in today.
Wait, say that again.
There's too much Microsoft in Xbox.
Oh yeah, of course.
And that's the reason why it's more about the services, about the cloud, about all this bullshit, about monetization, getting this stuff, rather than just making a great game and letting the gamers come to that game. It's always been about this extra shit and not about just making a game for people to play. It's always like, we'll add later one biome in the single player game. Well, we're gonna add more story later. The story's all over the goddamn place apparently in Halo Infinite.
Did not tell you that was gonna happen. They're gonna monetize the story. They're gonna say, hey, here's more story. They're gonna do it.
Why, Frog? Why?
What do you want to bet? I will bet people now.
I'm underage.
This is what I'll bet, and I'm calling it now. I will bet now when May comes around and they add the fact that you can play with your buddy through the story mode. There goes, oh, by the way, we have our new Halo Infinite story. The gym of Sparta or something like that, and get it for $29.90. You know what I'm saying? $29.99, $39.99. They're gonna do that. They're gonna
have like a new pass.
Yeah,
but it's some more stuff with pass, just look at the Horizon stuff. Wait, I want to
check this out. They're gonna say, play this and get this. If you buy this, you're gonna get some cash for your multiplayer with the 2 new maps.
So you think they're gonna monetize the co-op? Like they're gonna create a pass for the
story?
Co-op?
Yes, they are.
Oh shit! All right, we'll see about this one. So here, look at this. So again, back to the Horizon stuff. We tried to show the state of enemies, acting and posture and vocalizations. The grace period before you're detected and acted out by having an enemy approach you. Enemies will investigate disturbances such as arrow landing nearby, spotting a machine that you took out silently. You can also escape from combat by breaking line of sight and sneaking away. When enemies discover that you're not where they expect you to be, they'll start searching. Human enemies team up and search for you as a group, with the team leader giving orders and coordinating the work. Through animation and context-dependent speech, the player will have plenty of cues to figure out. So they're not going to have big bogus-ass icons and shit like that. Through animation and context-dependent speech. Like, this is the new shit with AI. This is the stuff that you expect with a new platform. Now, let me show you this scene and tell me, just by looking at it, you could see that this is light years better than the first one. Again, the motif is more.
Oh yeah, they gave you
more.
They didn't take. They didn't take.
No scaled back. Watch this friggin' combat sequence. This is absolutely insane. Watch this. She not done. Watch this.
They didn't take away. They added. Jazz.
Boom. Executions. They got them, and we don't have them. Watch this. Boom.
Should imagine they said, "Hey, she won't be able to
hook
execute
shot
until 6 months from now." You won't be able to pull off
executions are not in Halo either. And remember, they had an excuse for that too. Look at this combat from Aloy. She couldn't do this in the first game.
I have a philosophy, and maybe this is just Frog's philosophy. I've always believed, and maybe it's the military in me. I've always believed that you should add, and you should never take away. You can add to and make it better, but you shouldn't take away. I think that a lot of things in Halo 5 were good. I don't think the multiplayer was bad at all. I think that
look at this, Frog. Do you see this in the Horizon?
Yeah, I'm watching.
This is more. You can't do this in the first game.
They added so much more stuff to an already good game.
Look at this combat, and it looks like this too.
And that's why I always look at games when I say, man, you change it so much. It's like they tried to reinvent the wheel. You could have kept all the stuff that was in Halo 5 and added the grapple hook, and said, okay, their common goal should have been 60 frames, and obviously they couldn't do that everywhere, so they had to compromise. And for a multiplayer game, I've always said that those day one people. I feel bad for those day one people. And even Xbox players, because even the Xbox One, I'm sorry, the Xbox One X can play at 60 frames. I just feel bad for those day one people that don't have a choice to play on their S at 60 frames. But I guess that whole goes, if you want to play 60 frames, we got a console for you. It's called the Series S.
Well, that's boosted. We don't talk about. Look at the fire effects. Like, look at this friggin' game and the animations. Like, I want to see, after the reviews that I saw today, this is what I'm going to say here. After the reviews that I saw today, I want to see somebody tell me about trees and plants and animations. Please. Oh, it's lagging on your end. Yeah, you know what? I don't know why. Maybe because it's a full screen and it's not res. Sorry.
This game is gonna look good. The first one looked
Dude, it's gonna be
amazing.
freaking incredible. But I want to
Just
see.
think about now you got a full 60 frames open world game, and I'm really interested to see how they look. One thing Sony's good at, man, and one thing I will say that, and Nintendo too, they're good at creating a freaking a franchise that's just well crafted, and it's not gonna come out until it's done. They care. They know they care about this
This is their
franchise
bread and
so
butter,
much.
man. They know.
Yeah, that's why they don't need another Uncharted. They can say Uncharted can take a break for another year or two. They don't need another one right now. And if I was Sony, I would let Neil Druckmann go ahead and do his Last of Us 3, and whatever his new project is outside of Uncharted, go ahead and announce that and do that. Because at this point, do we really need another Uncharted right now? Not really. Do we need another Last of Us right now? Not really. Give us, but think about this. Next year, Spider-Man 2.
No, not next year. I think it's not.
No, I'm sorry. The year after is a Spider-Man 2. Let's just say, I would say we're gonna get.
Show this screen. I didn't see
we're
this
gonna get some
here.
kind of Uncharted. I would say within the next.
Oh, it is
Uncharted within the next 2 years.
Watch this.
So,
she fights two
in a 5-year time span, I'm really interested in with blessings and glory. Hopefully, I'm still here. I think I will be, but in a 5-year time span, and even in a 10-year time span, I really am interested to see where this Xbox series is versus the PS5 and software and the content that's in Game Pass. The viable content is not, because I guess gaming fun is subjective, or good games are subjective, but you can look at something and say it's good, and also in the same token, you can say this is good, but there's a lot of room for improvement. With Halo is good, but there's a lot of room for improvement.
Wait, we're gonna go
when
to
we
the,
play.
Now
When you play Ghost of Tsushima, was there a massive amount of stuff that needed to be improved? No. It was a good game.
That was a great game. But do you understand? Like the way they're showing this Horizon is more and more. Like
Tsushima, right? And we didn't even know it was a new game IP. They announced it when they announced that it was coming out, and then it finally came out. We were like, "Holy shit! This game is really good." And it was like, this studio can really make a good. It surprised everybody, and that's why I'm like, you don't get things. I haven't felt like with the last 2 years, I haven't felt like that from anything on Xbox. That's why I'm so excited about Halo, because I want it to be the game that I'm like. But there again, a lot of people say, "Hey, it's nostalgia. You're a Halo fan." I purchased it with my hard-earned money. I didn't Game Pass it. I want to give it the freaking cutthroat. I'm not one of those guys out here talking about I'm an Xbox.
You're my
I'm
number
a
one
fanboy,
customer.
I'm this and that, and I'm Game Passing it. I purchased the game. I want to own a game. I'm gonna play through that damn game. I'm gonna enjoy the game probably, but I'm gonna give you my hard truth and my opinion. Versus those cocksuckers who are in Game Pass talking about, well, it's in Game Pass, so it's not a big deal. If that's your mentality and how you think, like, where's gaming really gone?
I don't know.
Like, where's gaming really going? And maybe I shouldn't call you guys cocksuckers subscribe to Game Pass, but I think you're a little disingenuous if you're subscribing to Game Pass and then you play the game for a little while and you put it down and say, well, it was in Game Pass, no big deal. That's a little disingenuous, especially for franchises like Halo. And then it's a little disingenuous to play a game like Halo and you put 30 minutes into it and then talk crap about it. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, yo, I got a lot of time. I got over 48 hours in this game. Like, come on, give me a break. Like, most people don't do that. So I don't know, man. We'll
they
see.
said that I'm just saying it's the problem I have is that they want you. They're when you read about Horizon and about what they're adding to it, the AI, they're adding the combat, you just see it right there. You see that they're adding more to it. And it's additive. It's adding more stuff. And I've shown the Bonnie Ross thing where they're taking the biggest franchise with Halo and they scaled it back. They took things back. They took things away, and they're going to add later. And that's the reason why, is because it's in a service. It's in a pass. And the game has been compromised to fit that. And that's the the issue that I have is that the mechanism of delivery is influencing the game. Like, I wonder what Halo would look like if Game Pass didn't exist. You know, what if? You know, if it didn't exist. Twisted Sync with the $2. He says GT7 dropped a new 2-minute trailer. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I did check out that GT trailer. If that was a true GT trailer,
it wasn't
what
that
I saw.
other thing. Let me see.
I saw some people putting stuff up on Twitter, and they were saying it was GT, and I was like, "Damn, that's really if that was the real deal, that was pretty interesting."
Well, it says 2 months ago, 1 year ago. Where is it? It came out on the PlayStation blog, or is it somewhere else?
No, I've been seeing people just posting. I don't know how. See, Twitter. You can't trust anything on Twitter, man.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on Twitter. Let me see if it's there. Where is it? Yeah, I saw this thing going around too about the PlayStation. And this is actually Frog. I want to show this too. This is not on the topics list, and I think I'll skip over the other one because I want to get into the review thing to follow. But the actual Xbox is outselling, apparently, the VG charts, that it's outselling the PlayStation 5 in the US. And we said that it's a booster.
Oh, wait. Overall, outselling it in the US, or it just picked up themselves and has outsold it for like that month. I'm confused.
For the week or something. I think for Black Friday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
we
Booster
said
was
that.
around.
Just like, come on now.
That's exactly what they said. They got to win NPDs.
Yeah.
Booster.
Why wouldn't I think that? Look, if the S is available, why wouldn't I sell it? Come on now, like that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Booster.
that makes sense.
I can't find this Gran Turismo thing, dude. Try Deep Forest Raceway. All right, I'm gonna check for that. I want to see what this looks like. But that's the thing. Like when I go, and like I said, we did a palette cleanser looking at Horizon. That game looks freaking incredible. I'm so hyped for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. What you said, Deep Forest gameplay.
Shit, I'm pretty sure if PlayStation 5s were there, the $399 version, that should have outsold the Series S.
Oh yeah, I think I saw this. This is 2 days ago. Oh, I saw this. Yeah,
I mean, look, Microsoft got something right. They trick people into believing they don't exist. It's the same thing the devil did. It's the greatest trick in history. Make people believe you don't exist. They're the devil.
Here's Gran Turismo.
And what they did is make people believe they really didn't exist, and so people went out there and bought that freaking booster. And look, it's great for them.
Good. This is gonna be interesting. I tell you, this thing's gonna look incredible.
A lot of people are gonna get
MPD on lock.
A lot of people are gonna get boosters under the tree and be pissed off.
Yeah, this looks good.
Oh yeah, that's the trail I keep seeing. Yeah, that's the one.
Look at the full reflections on the side here. Like this. And then also this high quality here. That's always this thing to take a look at. Man. This looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pristine. You know how they work. So I know that. But yeah, I have to say, like, man, the lighting is crazy. Look at that. Each of the little flickers going on inside the dash. Whoa, look at that to the tunnel. Holy crap. Big turn. Holy crap, that's like reflections on the steering wheel. Like the shiny parts of the steering wheel.
Man, that lighting is really nice.
Yeah, they're like the reflections on the steering wheel there. Oh, they got traffic up there. Look at that. There's a car going across. Damn, this is gonna look freaking insane. I can't wait to use that with the adaptive controller too.
Jeez, I can smell the leather.
Smell the leather. That's the review. That's a Frogz review thing. I could smell the leather.
I can smell.
I can smell the dash. But yeah, man, I tell you, it is it is interesting. Like, and like that's what I mean. Like, I just like the additive approach of what Sony's been doing, because that's what you want, especially a new generation console, rather than the scale back that Halo's doing. And just you see the dichotomy. You see reading the Halo forums about, it's in the DNA, it's going to take time, all this stuff. And then you look at Horizon and it's like, yeah, we're adding more AI. We're adding more dynamic fights. We're adding more capabilities, more stuff. And it's just like, how is, and then you look at the reviews of Halo and it's just like, oh, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's like, whoa. And we're going to get to that. The Game Award predictions, I think, when's the Game Awards? Is it this Friday? Thursday.
I believe.
So
right
I wanted to,
after
before
Halo
we get
comes
into
out.
the review part, and that's the home stretch, grinders, hit that like button because we're gonna get to nitty gritty. That, you know, that's how we do it here. But that's the Grindsboard, the big one. But for the Game Award, Frog, you said you think you have a prediction. I wanted to give you a chance. What is your prediction for the Game Awards for the reveal?
Obviously, a lot of people know that the Matrix little app appeared on Xbox and PlayStation 5. And so that was a dead giveaway. And they said, see more at the Game Awards. Obviously, there's a movie coming out, but I think there's a game coming too. I don't know who's going to have marketing rights to it. But Warner Brothers seems to, I think they want to, do right by a game. I also predicted Sony shows 2 new IPs.
Oh.
2 brand new IPs we've never seen before. And not no indie IPs, big major IPs like that we've seen. I think one of them's going to be a shooter. And I think the other one's going to be some kind of an action game. That's just my prediction. And I may be wrong. I know people are going to say, hey, you just called some random stuff and you got it right. But I do think they have 2 new IPs for PlayStation that we haven't seen. And one's going to be a shooter.
Achilles.
Something multiplayer invested.
All right. Yeah. Well, I do think that, we mentioned before, like Sony is being quiet. And I do think that.
They're super quiet.
And one thing I want to say is something that I said, I think it was like a month or 2 ago. With that friggin' Abandoned game, I saw that on my dashboard saying that a new video or something is going to be released in 2022 or early next in January or something like that, early next year. And I'm telling you right now, I thought that Abandoned was done. I said Nassim, that guy, whatever that guy was, that friggin' that developer and stuff. I was like, it's a joke and stuff, but I was like, if it has anything to do with Kojima, has anything to do, they will announce it at the Game Awards. And I think the weird thing is that game just showed up again on my dashboard, an abandoned game that was just abandoned, and now telling me that something's happening with that stupid demo. I'm telling you, there's something going on with Abandoned at the Game Awards for that thing just to pop up. And if it's not there, like, hey, I'll take the L. I don't care. But, man.
You think Kojima's
there's something with it, dude. There has to be something with it because I feel that why would it show up again on the stupid, like, Hasteem Karaman? Like, why would it show up on the dashboard now about they're going to add a video to it, like, the week of the Game Awards? There's something weird with that. So, that's my prediction. Something with Abandoned will be revealed or talked about at the Game Awards. That's my bold prediction there. I also think that there might be, I think, PlayStation having some sort of game announcement there. I think they're not going to show Horizon. I think there's going to be something new, something different there. Because I think they've been too quiet. And I think that the last time they spoke was really just that big Wolverine and stuff.
The 2 games that Sony shows at the Game Awards, my personal belief
not Nassim, Hasim. Sorry, Nassim. I was looking at your name.
I believe the 2 games that Sony is going to show at the Game Awards it's going to be a jaw-dropping moment like we never saw. Like when Xbox showed their Xbox at the Game Awards and everybody was like, what?
You think Sony's going to do the Keeleys like that? They're going to drop some big game announcement there?
They're going to have 2 games, and we didn't see coming. And our jaws are going to hit the ground.
All right, man.
And I don't think and here's the thing. I think they're going to say they're in development. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you what I think one of the games is, because I know, I just didn't want to say it.
Just put it out there. Who cares if we're wrong? Dude, we could be like Xbox Inside. We could be like Xbox guys. We'll just be like,
honestly believe at the Game Awards.
Trust me, it's going to be awesome.
Okay, I said a shooter, right? And then I said the other one action.
You think
adventure.
Resistance?
I think one is going to be a shooter, I'm not for sure if it's going to be Resistance or Killzone or SOCOMs, right? But those are the three I'm thinking. But I definitely think the game that is a jaw-dropping moment at the Game Awards is Bluepoint remaking Bloodborne.
Oh,
And
remake
then
of Bloodborne from Bluepoint. Yeah, right. Bluepoint they announced their game.
And
that's a good prediction
on
right
top
there.
of that, at the end, Bloodborne 2 is coming from Bluepoint.
Holy shit, Ron. The internet will friggin' melt. They'll melt.
Drop the mic moment, gone. If that happens, I do think that's going to happen. I think they're going to announce I do think that Bluepoint is going to announce Bloodborne remake is coming. I think this is how they're going to do it. I think the drop the mic
remake
moment
with
is
the sequel.
The remake, and then they say coming soon, Bloodborne 2. Drop the mic moment. Holy shit.
Who are you? Just put the Herman Holtz with the splits on the PlayStations.
and I'm gonna tell you why it's a good time to get people excited for that, because Elden Ring is coming out. It's got a lot of good response. I think Sony wants to try to do another hand at Killzone, and I think if they do it, I think they need to do a third person kind of Gears of War style Killzone game.
Man. You can't do that Killzone. I don't know about bringing Killzone back, dude. I don't know.
I think Killzone can come back, but I think they got to reboot that whole franchise from the ground up. Even Resistance, I think Resistance had a good story.
Resistance might be interesting. Insomniac can't make another freaking game. Jesus.
No. I don't think Insomniac's going to do the... if Resistance comes back, it's not going to be Insomniac. I think... But hey, look, we might get something from Bluepoint that's brand new. That might be the...
I think your prediction on Bluepoint is exact, because they announced that they purchased that, Stu, but they didn't announce any games from them. And I think Bluepoint, you're right. I think this is going to be Bluepoint's show.
This is Bluepoint's show.
Yeah, if they're going to do anything,
and that's why I say this is Bluepoint's show. And when they drop that Bloodborne coming to PS5 and PC, people are going to shit themselves, because I do believe it will be PS5 and PC.
You think?
I do.
You don't think they'll get that PS5 exclusivity?
I think it'll be PS5 exclusive, and I think it'll come to PC later.
Okay.
But I also think Bloodborne 2 is on the way. I think that there's
maybe like a Bloodborne remake that's on both platforms and Bloodborne 2 on PS5.
Yeah. There you go. Bloodborne 2 is only on PS5, but the Bloodborne remake is on both. Yeah, there you go.
I'm telling you, Frog, that's some Frogz right there, as Gaming Night says, dude. That is
yeah, let me tell you, if Bloodborne gets announced at the Game Awards, it's gonna break the internet. For a PS5 version, 60 frames, redone from the ground. This thing about Demon's
Captain
Souls
Crunch.
did.
Anyway, we answered the Grinders predictions. Captain Crunch has PSVR 2 hardware tease.
Ooh, that'd be nice. I don't think they're ready for that. That would be a good place to
announce it. Yeah, that's a good place too.
I don't think they're ready for that, Dylan. They're not ready yet.
It's supposed to come out next year.
They haven't sold enough hardware. I think that gets announced at E3.
They don't do
around E3 time. Okay, they don't do E3, but what I'm saying, around E3 time or a little bit after E3, I think they announced that like they did like August next year. I don't think they talk about that, because I think they still they don't have enough hardware.
They're gonna need something. Like I think Sony's gonna need some sort of standardized event. I think that this year was kind of a miss, like all over the freaking place. Like they were quiet for a long time. They did some state of plays where they showed some gameplay. Like my criticism of Sony this year, like I really think that the thing that kind of gets me is that Microsoft had nothing, and Sony could have just rolled over them, steamrolled. And I think they just kind of gave them like, you know what, give them the free punch. Like let them just, and you should just keep the pressure on. And I thought with the Wolverine and Spider-Man, that show was friggin' lights out. But the thing is that then you followed up with a weak state of play. You're doing these little blogs on Horizon, which I think are great, but like you really making them...
Wait.
What?
Hold on. Somebody said Bloodborne 2 without From Software. Nope. Come on now. Let's be real. From Software doesn't make the prettiest games. They make great worlds. Their games do not run stable. They run like shit, and they're not the prettiest games. Let's be real. From Software, they make some really interesting titles. I like their stuff, but
Yeah,
they're
but
not
do you
the
think they're-
prettiest, and
I
they
don't
don't.
know.
But they don't run the best. So let's just stop and act like let's not act like From Software is god tier among gaming. Like their games aren't the prettiest, and they don't run the best. They have really bad pacing issues as far as not pacing issues. They have problems with frame rates. It seems like they can't get frame rates right on games, and that graphically, like their games are not like, oh my gosh, it's just the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. When you look at what Blue Point did with Demon Souls, they could definitely freaking take a freaking Bloodborne and remake that thing and just destroy
We
everything
will
from
see.
from
Captain Crunch
the
says that
ground
the
up
Game
as far as
Awards.
like
Oh.
making a really good, yeah,
Captain Crunch says the
making
Game
it a really good
Awards
experience.
need some
Like,
sort of Sony marketing.
I think Blue Point's proven
Yeah, I
themselves they
agree.
can do it.
Well, we'll see what they do. Like, I really think that, they just like, it just seems that Sony's messaging has been very fragmented throughout the year. Like, they kind of just drop these things right before their state of plays and stuff. That like, there's not a monthly state of play. And again, I don't want more shows with bullshit content, but I feel like that they are sitting on a lot of stuff and really didn't reveal it all. And especially in a year where there wasn't they kind of went through this year with kind of like not the B team, but they went, not that these games were bad, but like they kind of went through not with their biggest franchises, like, and not even having like a big franchise lined up. And next year is going to be their crazy year.
Yeah, I got one more prediction because I know we want to talk about Halo. I got one more big prediction. I do also predict that Sony, it's going to come with a PlayStation logo, has exclusive rights to Mortal Kombat first.
The next Mortal Kombat game?
The next Mortal Kombat, I believe, is going to be shown at the Game Awards, and I believe Sony's going to have the rights to it first.
Like exclusively?
Like it's gonna be on their console first. They're gonna have some exclusive. They're just gonna show it there. It may be launched the same day as the Xbox version, but they're gonna have stuff the Xbox version doesn't have.
Now, do you think there's gonna be any big Xbox announcements?
To be honest with you, I don't think there's anything major we're gonna see.
I don't think there's anything new. I think they're gonna have to show something.
I think they're gonna show stuff
already.
we already know about.
So maybe a Contra, maybe Redfall.
Right. Stuff
Maybe
we
they
already
do
know
Redfall.
about.
Maybe Avowed. I think Avowed
They
was
might
not
show,
confirmed to be there.
what's that game called? The one with the guy, Chernobyl, or what's it called?
Chernobyl.
What is I'm trying to think. The guy, I forgot the name of the game. It's like a Call of Duty kind of game.
Oh my God! Please no. You mean Crossfire X campaign? Oh yeah, my God! They can't. I think they show
a little bit of that. I think they show us stuff we already know about and we're not too excited about because Halo and Forza's here. They don't want to take the limelight off of that. Which, I don't think there's much that Microsoft could wow me with. Because I'll be playing Halo, but I don't think there's much that's going to wow me at the Game Awards.
Hellblade, Stalker 2, people are saying.
Hellblade, they could show it. I mean, it's been absent. What was that game they made for the Xbox with the dick and the freaking going in the mouth?
Oh, Scorn?
Scorn, yeah, there you go.
Scorn, oh my God. There's so many. What about a Bright Memory Infinite?
Oh my
Scorn,
God.
Crossfire X.
I have a question.
Stalker 2, there's so many games that they announced that we don't even know anything about them.
If you said Bright Memory Infinite, I thought about Stalker 2. They could show that.
Stalker 2.
Bright. Let me ask you a question. Is Bright Memory Infinite already on the Series X? I thought it was.
Bright Memory is, but not Infinite, which is the sequel.
Okay, because when I went to the store, I was like $4.99.
No, it's like a demo. Yeah.
It was like $4.99 for this game. And I was like, I should buy it just to see what it is. But a lot of people said, don't buy this shit. It's not worth the $4.99. I was like, damn.
So wait, so they got Redfall supposed to come out next year with Stalker 2, Hellblade 2, Scorn, and Exo Machina. Oh, Sergeant just retired.
Hey,
maybe he's wrong.
Maybe Bethesda. Nah, Bethesda won't.
Oh, maybe we'll see Starfield.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I don't know.
I think so. That is a Phil Ness moment. I think he'll come out there with his friggin' his goofy ass face and be like, "Here's Starfield."
I think maybe
exclusively on Xbox.
Maybe we get Hellblade 2. I can see that. Stalker 2.
I could see Phil
The damn
yeah.
the scoring dick game.
Scoring the dick
I don't-
game.
Dude, that's what it looked like. It looked like a
I
freaking
know,
alien.
whatever.
That game was so I don't know. Like I really can't say with Xbox because I just feel like they kind of blew their wad this year. So why do they need to really show us?
Frog,
any
everything
more-
that came out this year was all from last year, just delayed to this year. Psychonauts 2,
that's what I'm
Halo.
saying.
Like the only game that
It's
we
like-
didn't know was Forza Horizon. That was
Look,
it.
let me
All the
tell
other
you,
shit
this
was
year-
last year's.
This year, if we really think about it, Microsoft had a big no-no November and they blew their load. And I just think that they're done for this year. And
I
what
don't
more
think so.
can they
They-
show you to be excited
Yeah.
about next year? Unless a Starfield really looks good.
I think it's too early
Like
to
they
talk
blew-
Halo season passes yet. They're gonna do
No,
that
they
all
better
next
not.
year. Get ready. All next
They
spring,
better
all you're
not.
gonna see is updates to Halo. We heard you, and nobody's gonna give a shit. That's what I mean. Like February, March, when we're gonna play Horizon and Gran Turismo and Elden Ring and shit, and they're gonna be like, guys, update 52 is out for Halo. We've added the classic shotgun. We heard you. Slayer is back, and people are like, get the fuck. Yeah, this is what I mean. That's what they're gonna do with this Halo game. You're gonna be sitting there
Oh my
in
God.
March playing freaking Horizon. You'll be playing all these new games, even Stalker 2. You'll be playing all these games, and then they're gonna be like, update 75 is out today, everybody. We've added we tweaked the plasma rifle like you asked for in the forums. We added Griff Ball back in a playlist. Oh, going back to Halo. And it's February's update. Come on and play. We've
I'm hoping
added new
Starfield's good.
custom armors. Come play. I'm like, get them. They're gonna be like that friggin' like a hot dog wagon on the corner of a friggin' street in front of a gourmet restaurant. I mean, get the hell out of here with your shit, guys. Halo. Microsoft's having an event in June. We've added co-op. Finally,
Somebody
to the
said
game.
Bright Memory Infinite. It released in Bright Memory Infinite released
Yes,
on November the
that's what
12th. And they said it got trashed in the reviews. Damn, I didn't know that.
Dude, we're gonna be back to 68s in no time.
That's why it's
Speaking
$4.99,
about
I guess.
reviews, Halos now we added an extra grapple hook. So
Oh
now you
my
got two
God.
grapple hooks. You could double fist the hooks. Get the fuck out. That dude, that's Halo. That's 10 years of Halo right there, and that's what grinds my gears. That is gonna be the news. It's gonna be like Sea of Thieves.
Instead of having grenades
we
on the
added a
L1,
new
you have
boat.
double grapple hooks.
We got double grapple hooks. We added a new boat to Sea of Thieves. Like, and it's like it's all it is gonna be updates. That's it, guys. Forget about the Halo updates.
And the new boat of Sea of
975.
Thieves has, and the new boat of Sea of Thieves has a Cortana bust on the front of it. While
Oh
it floats
shit!
in the ocean.
Flight Sim, Top Gun DLC, Grounded's coming out of beta. Man, these are huge announcements. Anyway, speaking of reviews, after seeing that
gosh, here we
Horizon
go.
stuff,
I got to get a beer for this one. Hold on,
dude, I don't even know if I could glass through this friggin' thing right now.
Nah.
'Cause this is
I
some
gotta
wild
I gotta get a
shit.
drink for this one.
Grind this. Hit the like button. Seriously.
Oh,
Hit
it's
the
about
like
to
button.
fucking get.
Retweet
It's
this
about
thing
to
out.
go down.
I might lose my friggin' voice here.
Here
I will
we go.
timestamp this
You hear
for
me?
those that are
How much
watching.
you-
Frog
you
is
hear me
great
all
drinking.
opening
Yeah, I
it?
hear you. You know what?
Out of the
Actually,
can.
Frog, I'm gonna get it. I think I'm gonna get a drink too because this is.
You know, look,
Yeah.
I had some leftover Budweiser.
Get the grinders in here now. Put out the siren. I want more grinders in here. I want the like button hit. I want more grinders in here. I want more bootleg Joels in the chat because the grind table is coming. I'm getting a drink.
Oh yeah, I got me a leftover Budweiser.
I don't even know what the hell happened to my friggin'.
Let's
What
get it.
happened here?
Hey, maybe the C dicks will appear in Halo.
Oh shit. See
Yo,
Dix and
we
Halo.
found the Kraken.
Maybe the Kraken. Maybe the Kraken's like in a cave somewhere. But this is it,
Mhm.
grinders. I'm getting a drink.
So you mean to tell me Halo Infinite doesn't have a snow level? What the fuck? Let me stop.
Oh shit, here we go. I'm getting a drink. Pause. Commercial interruption. I'm using my Bartesian here. Oh shit, what do they want me to do here? I'm using my Bartesian. What drink should I get, grinders? I'm at the Bartesian. What should I get? I think I'm gonna get.
You got a Mai
Everybody
Tai?
likes my fruity drinks. Hold on.
You got
they
a
like
Mai
my
Tai?
fruity drinks. What should I get?
Mai Tai.
Yeah. know what? You know what I'm gonna get? You know what I'm gonna drink, Grinders? I'm gonna go get a passion fruit margarita because there's no passion in Halo, so I'm gonna have to drink it away. That's what I'm getting. Passion fruit margarita. Here it comes. Give me this passion fruit. Artesian. As you can tell, it's right now next to my streaming system. So right now I'm gonna get my Artesian. Get the ice.
How's that noise?
We're going late tonight, Grinders. Put in some ice cubes.
Oh shit!
Making a drink here. Got my passion fruit margarita.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, Grinders. Woo!
Here it goes. You know what? Let me see. I'm going. Here we go. Put the bitters in there. Oh, damn. Here we go. I need a drink for this pot. Oh, man. I smell the passion.
This conversation is, wow.
Come on. Artesian, don't fail me now.
Booster. Well, speaking of booster, while Jez and the Mac making a drink, I did grab me a Turbo Man.
All right,
the last one.
Drink. Cocktailness.
I did grab me a Turbo Man.
There we go.
One.
Holy shit! Holy Spirit, activate.
I thought it was kind of odd that I posted a picture of Turbo Man and next to my PlayStation. It's pretty big compared to my PlayStation. It's like almost as big as it.
All right.
And people were really upset that I had my PlayStation on the
end
table. Yeah, because they're like, it's gonna fall off.
I know, I saw that right flipping out.
You know, I've had my PlayStation sitting on the same table for over a year and nothing's happened to it. I'm like, where do you guys live in, like California earthquake territory? Like,
I'm trust me with Frog. Trust me, if you have freaking kids, that shit was falling.
Dude,
if you had a little freaking 5-year-old running around, that shit's coming down.
Ass kids.
You got grown ass kids, so that's okay.
Look. If
he'll buy you a new one if they drop it. Mine's not.
My youngest child is 18. If my grown ass 18-year-old in college child comes home and knocks my PlayStation off my table, we're gonna fight. There's a problem, or I'm gonna take his PlayStation because he has a PS5. So, I mean. Nah, man. Like my look, I even got dogs and my whole thing
you got all the dogs, man.
Yeah, now, if my little dog's knocking off that,
you better watch out, man. They probably pee on it first. They're gonna piss on the console.
The thing is, man, it's very stable. People don't understand how stable that PlayStation 5 with the stand. It's pretty damn stable. It's not going anywhere.
All right.
That one guy, he was like, "Man, what a shit table. I'll give you." I was like, "Dude, what's wrong?" And then my Xbox is on its own table. When people are like, "Oh, that's a shit table too," I'm like, you know what? You can't make anybody happy. Fuck it. Somebody wants to donate to the Frogz Table Foundation for his game console.
Frog needs a table, man. He has a thing on the friggin' a bootleg. He has a 3-legged stand.
Dream. I'm just sitting there like, yo, like y'all really are mad about my PlayStation on this damn table?
Wait, where is? I gotta show this video now. I gotta show the thing of Frogz. Where is it?
But Roger said PlayStation 5 is so huge. If it fell, it would split the earth in half.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna wait a second. Now that you brought up the thing, I'm gonna show the table that you have it on. Where is this? Wait,
I just thought it was hilarious, man. People were really upset that my PS5 was in that table. Out of everything they saw, and people were like, "Cool, you got the Turbo Man. Where'd you get it from?" Then you got this one cocksucker. Man, what the fuck you got your PS5 in that shitty ass table? I'm like, wait a minute, what?
There it is. It's not like, but we're gonna show Frog's tables. Frog, that is a fucking small table for that Xbox. It's like a fucking cocktail tray. Frog, here's Frog's table.
Hey, you gotta show the table.
Yo, here's Frog's table. This is here we go, Chris. This is Frog. Here's his PS5. Here's the table right here. And he just keeps adding more shit to it. Now,
my helmet fell over.
Look at fucking, yo, it's Frog's table. And then it looks fine. Frog, they say it looks fine on this table. But no, the first picture looks fine, but then look at all the shit.
Okay,
he added a clock.
But see,
You
the
got-
second table, that's how my PlayStation 5 is usually sitting with the controller. That's normally how it sits.
Wait, so which one? Wait, yeah, with the one with Turbo Man. Is that the table? You just added
That's
all
my
that stuff to it?
PS5, but I had extra stuff sitting on there.
Yeah. What is this? You got a water bottle, a flashlight, Turbo Man.
Yeah, the second table is how I usually have it.
Okay. Wait, is that a candle underneath the PlayStation?
Oh, no.
That's a cup. Okay. The best one I think is the Xbox.
No, the Xbox one, people are
Dude.
freaking out.
All right, Grinders, you ready for this Series X, right?
Oh my God. They're like, your Series X is it's so close to the edge.
Get ready, here it is.
Like, where is it?
It has a fucking skirt and shit. It has a skirt underneath it.
I
Bro,
mean,
what is that
people are
charging
freaking-
thing? What is that thing on the side of it?
Where?
Is
By
that
the
all, is all
Xbox?
those AA charging batteries that you got
Oh
glowing?
yeah, I put my rechargeable batteries in there.
He said it was a flashlight.
Somebody said a flashlight. Oh my
He
God.
got a Turbo Man. He got a Turbo Man. He got two. He got two Turbo Man.
Yeah. So that's why I put on me a flashlight. Stupid.
What is that thing below the Xbox? Is that a Kratos?
Oh, that's from Biomutant, the statue.
Oh yeah, the Biomutant statue.
And then behind the Biomutant statue is some Bacardi rum I got.
Yes, I
It's from
see that.
2013. I'm sorry. Yeah. From
They said you got your
2013.
Series X on a pedestal.
Dude, but it's just sitting there by itself with my sunglasses.
Oh dear God, that's gonna knock over. That's tipping over.
Somebody said I low-key hope the Xbox fall.
Somebody said, "Bro, these itty bitty ass tables."
Dude, the table's actually a lot bigger than it looks.
It belongs in the trash. Oh my God.
Somebody said you got this on the pay.
Dude, and I like the Xbox on the pedestal. You gotta put all that shit around the Xbox. Booster. No, you put Turbo Man. You gotta.
Somebody said itty bitty ass table. It's a mantle.
Anyway, Frog got these things. Everyone's coming out. I'm saying that shit's gonna.
But I guarantee you, if I took my Xbox and put it in the corner, somebody would think it was a garbage can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
They would. It would. But I like how the Xbox has little skirts underneath it.
I had my nephew came in here and he saw it and he's like, "What is that?" I was like, "An Xbox?" He's like, "That's an Xbox?" I was like, "Yeah."
That thing's
like,
ugly on the side though. It has that ring and shit.
Oh my God, it's horrible looking on the side. Why would they even do? There's no reason.
It looks like an air purifier. It's a humidifier.
For your table, y'all stupid. This damn table.
Bro, you can't post any shit on the internet. People are fucking
Hey, you know
wild.
what? It does look like a 12-inch subwoofer.
It does.
It does.
You should put it under the table. Then it'll be a subwoofer. Nobody puts subwoofers
Holy
on top of the
shit.
table. Buck Rogers says he's in tears.
Oh. Okay, so you see the table I had my Xbox on?
Yeah.
I had my PlayStation 5 below that and the Xbox on top, and people were freaking out. They're like,
Where's
"The
that
PlayStation's
picture?
gonna
You had
fall."
that one?
No. I moved the PlayStation, put it on its own table. People were freaking out because I had my PlayStation on the same table the Xbox is on. It was like on the shelf below it. People were like, "It's gonna fall down." I was like, "Man, what's wrong with
I
you
should have
guys?"
bought that friggin' Turbo Man when I saw it at Walmart, man. That shit looks awesome.
Somebody said, Frog, please don't tell me you have a tool shed in your garage. Nah.
Yo, I want to say something though. I had that Halo headset though.
Oh man,
I had this. Yep, I had that Halo headset.
dude, man.
Dude, that was the days, man. When they made those custom headsets, you plug that in there, you had it like in there.
Still got my Halo headset, still got my original Xbox, my Halo controller. Man, still got my original PS1. The guy was stupid in the chat.
Dude, they're
Still got
wild.
my
They're
PS1.
wild, man.
Dude, and that headset right there, oh my God. I can't use it because the mic jack is too small now. But dude, that headset, it was the shit.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, man.
But man, that was freaking funny. Holy
Somebody
crap.
said Series X looks like cigarette butts go on the top.
Yeah, watch somebody does that shit, man. They put the cigarette, like, what's this garbage can? Throw some shit on top of it. Oh man, that is some
Oh,
wild
there's
shit.
my tweet. That's my favorite tweet from one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I'm not
Christmas
showing it because they
Vacation.
took down my freaking other one when I showed that Arnold
Oh,
clip,
they
like that
did?
tweet, dude. They fucking like, we got to remove all this shit. I'm like, oh my god. So
Like,
hopefully they don't
what is
remove
it?
it now because I just that thing just
I
flashed on
watched
the
that
screen.
movie, and when they got to that part, I just started crying. My wife's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's a 3-month subscription to Game Pass." She just started laughing because she got it, and I was like,
When he's
"Holy shit! I
looking
gotta
at
put
it.
this up there."
Oh my god.
Because to me, it was just the funniest thing. I was like,
Yeah,
"Yo,"
that is funny.
because he gets that freaking the jelly coupon. I'm
What's
like,
going
"That's how
on?
Phil Spencer is." He's like the boss on Christmas Vacation. He gives you a 3 months membership to Game Pass for a good job of working at the company.
Fruit of the month club. I wanted a
Yeah.
pool.
He's like, bonus. I cut bonuses out. You don't get bonuses
Yeah,
here. You get Game
you
Pass.
son of a bitch. You get Game
That's
Pass.
what
So-
everybody in the Xbox division, they're like, if you get your bonus yet, I don't know, but I hope I do because I'm putting that pool in. Then it comes and it's this 3 month membership to Game Pass.
The Grindhouse will get on that one.
Oh god,
Dude,
well, let's
so
get to this one.
all right, so now with these things, I have my drink. So I tweeted out here when Metacritic was asking for their scores and shit. Where was it? I said here that I was like, where's my friggin' tweet now? I lost it because I was going crazy here. I was laughing at those tables. So
Those damn tables.
those friggin' tables. So I said that where is it? Is this it? No. Here it says here. So I tweeted out was that and again, Metacritic stuff is just fun. It's not a big deal. Who gives a shit? Because it's bullshit. But I said I think
Right.
it will be reviewed higher given that they're taking Halo in a new direction. However,
Yes.
I love all the bootleg Joes and boosters in the chat. Data War, who are you? Thank you. It's hilarious. However, I hope there's still some epic moments we had from the previous Halo games. I expect meta to be around an 86. And
Mhm.
whoop-de-doo is sitting at an 86. So I do around an 86 with this thing. So this is the thing.
Yeah, I
so
said
it got
85.
it got a big
was my
review.
prediction.
It might go down to 85. I was looking at some of the ones on hold. So the thing is that what's interesting is that it's sitting at 86 on Xbox, and then PC it's now at an 83. It was at an 82. Now it's at an 83. So very big difference there. But I think a lot of the Xbox ones are kind of held up with some of these our good friends in the media with their reviews here. Windows Central, Somos Xbox, Xbox Tavern, Pure Xbox Addict,
Right.
Mondo Xbox, and Xbox Achievements. I think we see where some of those high scores that give it that dichotomy between an 82, 83, and, an 86.
And people got to realize Xbox has a lot more reviewing platforms than PlayStation and Nintendo does. So that's why they may get higher. Like a lot of people will look at Metacritic and say the same game on PlayStation, how come they didn't get the same scores as well? That's because Microsoft has a way more Xbox sites. I mean, just look at all their sites they have that review their games. Sony doesn't have as many, neither does Nintendo. So Microsoft games tend to score a little bit higher on if they're multiplat. Even if they're not multiplat and they're exclusive, they tend to score a little higher if people think they receive well. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay.
Yeah, and I think too. I do think that nobody was going to be really out there going
Nope.
to
Nobody's
trash just
gonna
putting
be harsh on this
6s
game.
and 7s from these big websites. Like this is Halo. Like you're gonna have to really have a lot of you're gonna have to be a lot of things to just trash on the franchise that basically built the Xbox, right? But these reviewers here, yeah. Know what else I noticed too is some reviews. Oh shit, Grindhouse got him. The other things I noticed too is that some of these reviews actually bundled the multiplayer in review with their single player review. But I think the most famous review that I think everybody has been laughing at today is the VG24 review here, where it says 100 out of 100.
Not you.
Halo isn't perfect. It has foibles and struggles here and there, but it's a slam dunk of a release. It's exactly what Halo needs to be now, as Halo's relevance has become wane over the recent years. It's been 6 years without a game. Like, that's the reason why it waned. It wasn't that like the franchise was dead. Like it was because of 6 years without a game, right? It's exactly what Halo needs to be right now. It never will close. It matters. It's still brilliant. It will never close. Games Beat, there's Jeff Grubb. Consider me a Halo fan now. I was never really looking forward to Infinite, but now it's here. It's so much fun. What I was expecting. Windows Central giving out hundreds, like giving out lollipops on Halloween. All of a sudden. What's interesting? I went back to read the Halo 5 reviews, and half of these people not even there. Like some of these websites. Like they wouldn't even exist back at the Halo 5.
Yep.
Generation Xbox, Somos Xbox. These I think Latin. Well, they're in Spanish. Those Xbox Addict. There. The Washington Post. This dude here, this Washington Post writer, this is the guy that said like ponies are shook. Remember that Gene Park or whatever?
Right.
That's him.
So we already knew it was.
He's like ponies are shook or something. This is before his review came out.
Yeah.
The Stevia guy. That's the guy that gave like the 6 for like Last of Us. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. This is we live in an age of tribalistic mentality where people will stand behind something whether it's good or not, whether it's bad or not, and they'll just ride for it until the wheels fall off, and it could be not that great. It could have problems, and they're not going to tell you it's not that great. They're going to keep screaming to you and say it's great.
This is one of the things I wanted to show too with the IGN's review here. So IGN's review, if you go look at the bottom, look at the review when they're saying it. It's where's this stuff? What the hell is this?
Mondo Xbox. Damn, some of these places I've never heard of.
Oh, it was a GameSpot's review. It was one of them. Was it GameSpot's review? One of them had like. I thought it was IGN. No, I think it was Game.
Like the way they worded it, it was
like contradicting with the good and the bad.
It contradicted, but there's a lot of websites that contradicted themselves. Even ACG said it. Come here.
Yeah.
Come here, Rise. Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, this has been. Ryan McCaffrey said the same thing. The incredible story occasionally falters with forgettable antagonists and some rushed character development. So they said that. And I think Ryan McCaffrey, they said the same thing. Where the hell's their number? Because I wanted to see what they were saying. Because I saw some.
Some people just didn't want to give it a bad score. And so they're like, shoot, we got to give this a 9. And, I honestly do think that it's kind of like one of those things like, man, we can't score this bad because it's a Halo game and Microsoft's not doing that great. We got to. So this makes the Xbox look good. It makes them look like they came back out of nowhere. And shoot, I can't wait to play it.
I want to. So this is the thing. So from reading the reviews, I didn't want to read too many reviews, but because I don't want to be spoiled by what's going on. But the gist that I get is that there are indoor dungeons, indoor moments where that's where you lead up to a boss fight, and it's your traditional Halo. Then
a la Destiny.
Yeah, so there's like indoor moments where you're fighting through Forerunner technology and stuff like that, and then you get into and you do that, and you get a boss fight at the end, which is like either an elite, a brute, different boss fights. Then it opens up to this hub world or this open world where you could do banished missions, where you could take down strongholds. And then the maps open up as you do that, and you get call-ins of different vehicles, which they still drop them.
I love Destiny.
Bootleg Joel drops them
Everything
off.
sounds like Destiny so far.
And then basically in this hub world, and yeah, you're right, just like Destiny's kind of set up. And then the map is not fully open. Like it'll give you going to battle, like getting out of the battlefield and things like that. So it's not fully open, but it slowly unlocks. The campaign,
and there's like little mini bosses as you go on a certain.
And the campaign, if you just do. Yeah, if the campaign is if you just do the stuff, it's like 8 to 10 hours. If you just go through the main missions there, which people saying like, if they did some side missions and that is like a 15-hour game, which seems pretty decent for what it is.
Hey Jez, you know what game didn't have a good story either, and we complained about it, but it had a really good gameplay? Destiny.
Destiny, yeah. And they fixed it in Destiny too, right?
Dude, Destiny 2's story was better, but it still wasn't the best. And guess what they did? The gameplay loop and Destiny kept people there, and they just kept releasing story after story after story pack. Look at the new one coming out, The Queen. and it's it gets better and better and better because they have great story writers. But that's why I think this game is going to do the same thing as Destiny. They're trying to make a Destiny Halo game, and this will appeal to some people who like Destiny. I love Destiny, so if it's similar like that,
yeah, but Destiny you could do that with friends, Frog.
No, yeah, but you can do that with friends.
Yeah, but Destiny's boring as shit if you're doing it by yourself.
And that's the problem. Like, and there was one reviewer that said that. He said, "Why can't I do this with friends? Did certain moments in this game would have felt so much better if me and my freaking 3 friends were rolling out of this cave and we just open world. We'd be like, yo, look at." And it was just kind of like that moment with friends would have made it so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I did not see? I watched 2 reviews, right? Because they didn't spoil anything. I watched ACG and I watched somebody else. Can't remember the other.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anybody, and I read a couple of them. I didn't see anybody talk about if there was.
You're my number one customer.
Like player with, because didn't they say they were going to have that at launch?
I think they're split screen. Shout out to Twisted Sink with the $2. He says, "Oh, and the open world kept freezing for a few seconds."
Yes.
Yeah, it does. You know, and I got the Digital Foundry
yes.
right here, and I wanted to show some of the stuff. Like we'll go into the technical stuff.
I read it. I didn't watch the review.
The other thing that I noticed too was that, and I listened to Ryan McCaffrey's review, and he was very critical of the Halo 5 story, right? And
yes.
And one of the things is that he says that this story neither gives you new information about where the story is going, and is still referring to things that a newcomer would not even know what they're talking about. Right. So the story really falls apart because for the people that are following it, there's nothing really new. There's a forgettable antagonist, and it sounds like it's a part of something else. And for new people, they're referring to Forerunners and Flood and stuff, and people are like, well, who's that? And the problem is that the story, which is the most important part to Halo campaign, seems to be amiss. And I don't know how that was the major thing that was criticized in Halo 5, and the story in this doesn't hit, but people are still giving this 9s and 10s. Because the story was the biggest problem with Halo 5. It wasn't the gameplay. It wasn't the multiplayer. It wasn't the lack of features. It wasn't the graphics. It wasn't, you went all over the universe. They brought back all his old partners. They brought back all that stuff. And they brought back his team, and they had Locke, and it looked incredible, and Buck, and from ODST, and, you know, it was stacked. The only problem was, but Frog, the only problem is that you didn't play as Master Chief enough. You played as Locke a lot, and
that was the main thing. Yeah, that was the main problem. Well, do they explain where Locke and everything went? What happened?
I don't think so. Not from what he says. And he says even if he says things that they told him were spoilers, still wouldn't be a spoiler because you don't know who it is. He said. So the problem that I have is, so it's not really newcomer friendly. No, it's not, because it basically is referring to things that you don't know what's going on. And also it doesn't really lead anywhere else because, you know, this is a 10-year journey. And
wait, some of the enemies have life bars like Destiny.
Well, those are the that's the bosses. Those are the bosses, the mini bosses. Yep. You know, who are you? Says, because there ain't nothing else, Jez. What more do you want from Xbox? And yeah, that's the thing. Like, man, what we got with 5. And know what's interesting here? We're gonna do something fun, Grinders. We're gonna do something fun because I had a drink. So we're gonna do something fun here. We're gonna go to our good friends over at Metacritic, and we're gonna look, because this is the thing that also grinds my gears, and it's been grinding my gears a lot, especially regarding the reviews. And I see a lot of them going, "The best Halo in 20 years. This is it. Halo's back. Halo's back." You want to know what I think is funny? First off, let's go look at Halo 5, because I do think that people just unwillingly just start trashing Halo 5 because that's the thing to do to make Halo Infinite look better. Let's look at Halo 5. Let's see, all these friggin' ads. Oh my God, Metacritic, you piece of trash. Game trailers. Half of these websites, all those 9s and 10s that you saw in the other one, dude, this is half of them don't even exist. Level, Czech Republic gave it 100. Although the story feels less of an event, Halo's 4 campaign is thoroughly more satisfying. Is this Halo 4 or Halo 5? Halo 5.
4 or Halo 5. Yeah, I'm about to say.
Guardian. With so much at stake, Halo 5 needed to be new perfection of old triumphs, a landscape-altering revolution. In terms of campaign, it falls short of both of these ideals. Online, however, 343 has taken more significant risks. Now, game critics, let's see. 343 Industries made a terrific impression with their first dip into the franchise, but with their lackluster campaign and multiplayer, it still needs tuning. Halo 5, so that was the bad review from game critics. Let's see some more. There's 100 reviews here. Oh, shit. I'm Metacritic.
I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not excited to play it. I'm super excited to play it.
Yeah, here we go.
The reviews are not going to stop me from playing it. I'm happy that I'll be able to play in a quality mode at 60 frames. I'm hoping. I am a Destiny player, so don't get it wrong. Like, don't get it twisted. If this is more in lines with Destiny, I'm sure I'll be happy with it. As far as it's Halo, and I like the lore of Halo, so I'm hoping this is something that the story is interesting enough to keep my appetite wet until May rolls around, and then I get to play more with my friends, because I really do feel that that's the key thing that should have been there day one. I should have been able to play with my friends day one.
Yeah. Well, know what else another thing is too is like looking at the Halo 5 campaign and looking at what they're talking about with this campaign. It seems that in this campaign, in Halo Infinite, that near the end you get taken out of the open world and it kind of funnels you down a bunch of like inside, traditional Halo battles to kind of lead to the top, and then it dumps you back into the open world when you're done with that. So this open world is definitely more of a hub unlocking level and moving towards these just like similar to like Destiny. But one of the things that I just like, if you look like, they complained about the campaign in Halo, but nobody was giving it 6s and 7s. People were giving it 9s, going, the campaign is lacking and things like that. So, like, I just think it's, and we gotta remember, this was being reviewed as a full campaign. Like, see, IGN basically gave it a 9, and they said, well, Warzone is absolutely the mode that steals the show. And that's the thing I feel that Halo's missing, like the newness to it. Yep. Like, I think this is definitely more newcomer friendly because it's kind of like just drop Master Chief, and they said that a lot of it is based off of like the mission, like the Silent Cartographer, where they kind of drop you in this open area and you kind of use the vehicles to navigate to get into the area, and then you get the Guilty Spark, or you get one of the AIs in there, and you go from an outside big thing into a funnel, and that's kind of what they did with this game. I'm very interested in it. I want to play it. I want to see where it goes. I'm definitely going to stream it, so keep it locked here. Hit that subscribe button if you're new grinders.
Definitely, yeah. I'm super
We're going to be playing it. I wish it was co-op because I'll do a Frogz. That'll be fun. And I think the really big thing that they added, and the thing that I'm most interested in, is how the hook shot really adds to a lot of the missions. And one of the things to the gameplay. And it seems like the hook shot really is like the trick shot that you could use to kind of climb up mountains and things like that. So I think that's going to be interesting because I know the cooldown of it, you always have it. It's not like multiplayer where you don't have it all the time. So
to me, you should have it all the time.
Yeah, I think you should too. Like, I think you should too.
That and the boost, I feel like I don't get why you don't have those.
So
they should just be standard.
I like where they went with it because they definitely try to give you that whole like drop Master Chief on a Halo ring and just do what you got to do. So I do think that the freedom of that is really interesting, and that's why I said that they were going to be more, given the benefit of the doubt, because it's not been the tried and true kind of Halo formula that they did. They broke the formula as to why, split up the multiplayer, things like that, but they gave it the benefit of the doubt. And one of the things I do want to bring up before we get into the breakdown of this is that, first of all, I want to say, like, who are you? What he says is no co-op, no forge, no multiplayer, decisive campaign, 10 out of 10. That was my problem with a lot of these things. Where even the review
itself, like all that stuff that previous Halos have, and then you still get a 10 out of 10. Isn't that a contradiction? Like you just said, it didn't have this, it didn't have this, it didn't.
It doesn't hit.
Previous Halos had that, but you gave it freaking a 10 out of 10. Like that's not a 10 out of 10 to me. That sounds like it has some shortcomings, and it's still good, but it has some shortcomings.
Yeah, Noah Frog too, like, and also too, as a reviewer, as a gaming media site, the developer came out and said things are not ready that we planned for at launch. This wasn't a Ghost of Tsushima situation where they revealed the campaign and then later on they're like, hey, here's some multiplayer. They told you, like, campaign, forge, all these things were supposed to be there, and they're not there. And the fact
Right.
is like, how can you give this game a perfect 10 out of 10 knowing that there's
When it's
content
missing
that's
stuff.
still not coming? Like, you should at least give it a 9 or below with the capabilities that this will improve. Like, I don't understand how you are going to review this that is perfect for what it is, lacking all the stuff that was supposed to be there at launch but was not there. And I feel like that's where I had my head scratches, because I'm just like, wait a second, why are all these perfect scores going out when you know from the developer that there are things that are not there at launch and that was supposed to be there at launch? And it would make the game better, co-op and examples like that, and Forge to kind of use sandbox. Maybe they create missions. Maybe, Forge mode, I think, is going to be used in single player too. Like, I think it's going to be used to create like kind of banish installments and, maybe mission timing and things like that, like game modes and shit. And then also too, like Captain Crunch says, like, it's in a beta with the multiplayer. Still, they use the beta term on this thing. So how are we sitting here giving this game perfect scores? And what are we going to do when Horizon comes out? Give it like an 8.5 because the story doesn't fall there, or, how movements don't work? Like, how do you give Halo a 10 and then a game like, Last of Us 2 gets a 7 or an 8?
Right.
Oh, the story. Like, I don't understand that. Or you give a Ghost of Tsushima, Metacritic is 83. How the hell is Ghost of Tsushima an 83 and this is getting 10s? The numbers are all over the place. I don't understand it.
My biggest thing that when I was looking at the reviews, I applaud the game for getting good reviews, because that means it doesn't mean I'm enjoying much, but it just means, okay, it got good reviews. Hopefully people go out there and actually support and buy this game. But my biggest problem is when I read some of the reviews, they contradicted themselves. You give this game a 10, but then you contradict it. You say, it's like, oh man, this isn't here, this isn't here, this isn't here. And like some of the main features, but then you give it a 10. I'm like, wait a minute, how is this a 10 when it's missing all this stuff? Like, that's not a 10. But I think, like you said, I think they obviously gave it a 10 because they didn't want to talk bad about it at all.
Yeah, that's what, and that's weird. The head scratcher for me is because I just feel that, like, this was kind of inflated, and it's not hating on the score, and I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve the score, but and it may, but Frog, the product. Like, I'm gonna give you this product here. Let me tell you. Well, it doesn't have seasoning on it. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have the accoutrements. It's just a steak. Right. But I'm gonna make the baked potatoes. I'm gonna make the thing. Like, how can you rate the entree as a 10 out of 10 when you know that there's other content coming? This is not a secret. They're out there saying, like, hey, like, what is it going to get? 110 out of 10 when co-op comes?
Yeah. I think the immediate thing for me is not what makes it not a 10 is just the fact that I don't have that ability to play with somebody in it. And Halo has been that standard for such a long time. Like, that doesn't make it a 10 right there for me. I would say you dock a point for that, because that's a major thing. Like I said, the multiplayer is solid. It's a solid 7. But there's a lot of,
and even the multiplayer getting bundled in with this stuff, or the multiplayer not being clearly defined as an item. Like, even the reviews of it, we haven't seen that.
And I think it's disingenuous to bundle the multiplayer in with it because it's a free-to-play model. And if I'm bundling a multiplayer,
but they didn't review it separately.
That should bring the score down, actually.
Like, they didn't review it separately. Some of them bundled the multiplayer in like a paragraph in some of their reviews. Like the VG one, they throw like Halo multiplayer in there in a review. Like, hey, and then I was reading.
I'm like, 10 out of 10.
Who was the review where I was reading? Oh my God. It wasn't Venture. Was it? It wasn't Venture. Who? It was somebody's review with. Oh, I was reading Giant Bomb's review, right? Giant Bomb's review, he spent about 2 huge, and I think he gave it like an 8 or something like that. No, they gave it like an 8 or 8.5. Like, they do stars out of 5, and I gave it like 4 stars or something like that. But he spends like a whole beginning of the article basically saying, like, what is a game cost? Like, don't buy this game for $60 because that is the stupidest thing ever. Play this in Game Pass even for get a subscription for
Wait,
$10.
he said that?
Yeah, I'll show you that.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's sort of like this whole what is a game cost, like how he reviews games. Yeah, I'll go to
Damn,
Giant
he really said that.
Yeah, I'll show you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Jeff Gerstmann. He's been doing forever.
The fact that he said that kind of blows my mind.
What? Not to.
Like, don't buy this game. It's played in Game Pass.
Oh yeah, because he's like, well, what is a game? Like, where is this thing? Oh, why do you have a lot of videos on here? Hold on.
Oh
I gotta
shit.
go to Metacritic. Yeah, because he was like, 'cause he's been doing it for such a long time, and yeah, I just was reading his. Where is his Giant Bomb? Because I know they're kind of off the cuff and will just like be, they're kind of
Like,
harsh with everything. Right,
don't buy this game full price. Just get it in game. See, it's like that just makes it sound even worse. That when you say something like that, that just makes me think like the game
That's
is
something that drives me crazy though.
playing.
It's like this whole
like
curveball here.
Because like I'm just telling people like I'm going to support the game because it's Halo. I'm a huge Halo fan, so I purchased it. But come on now.
He's low key promoting Game Pass. Here it is. So yeah, like he writes a whole thing here about. Hold on, let me get it here. Like he goes here. He even talks about Forza. Where is the thing? Here it is. So what the heck am I actually reviewing here? The $60 package, the pay money for the campaign package is probably the worst way to play Halo. You're even better off buying a month of Game Pass, playing the campaign, and letting that lapse. So thumbs down to that full retail style version of the game unless you're somehow locked in a world where you refuse to play anything unless it's on Steam. I don't know why you would live that way, but you know what? People are weird. Did I say weird? Okay, yeah. And he goes, yeah, so, to me, traditionally, I scored a video game is meant to serve as some sort of helpful advice for players who are on the fence about a particular product. Time of reviews of new games can be up there. Games cost money. I hate to see people waste money on bad games. And to me, the people I work with on reviews team were the people who held the line in the attempt to keep you away from blowing money on bad games. Simple, right? Well, when the game is free and the subscription service is already something I recommend with or without the existence of a particular game, the purpose that type of review serve, what does that type of review serve? Like, why review a game that's just like, it's there, right? It's free. I could sit here and crank out a typical 1,500 word about next Halo. Playing the games takes way longer than writing about them does. It always did. In fact, let's just do that now. I'll get back to how I think about the style of reviewing this type of game. This game is deader than dead later. This style of video game reviews. Like you're not reviewing a product that costs money anymore. The game could be attained for free. The game could be attained within a subscription. So how do you review a game to say go out and go buy it anymore? You're not like a consumer's guide to buying games. Now the reviews serve different purposes now because the problem is that technically we don't even need reviews anymore. I just click on a button. Nope. I could play this game myself and determine I like it. I don't need to sit here and read all this reviews and this tell me to play the game when I could just download it right now faster than probably read through all these reviews.
Wow.
So,
what did they give the game?
He gave it, I think, was it 4 stars out of 5, I think. Yeah.
That's like
4 out of 5 stars. It's like an 80.
Yeah, so that's like
an 8. 80. But what he says here, the story, and this is where my thing was. I was trying to go for you. What's the story about? Because that's the one thing they didn't really talk about. The story itself does what it does to tie up the loose ends of the previous game, but overall, it does what it can do. But overall, Halo Infinite doesn't seem too concerned with the story at all. It thrusts you into the action with a cutscene depicting Master Chief being cast off into space by a guy named Atriox. The game eventually fills in enough backstory to tell you about Atriox and his faction, which Atriox was only in Halo Wars 2. So you really need to know about him because not a lot of people played Halo Wars 2 because it wasn't even a first-person shooter. It was a strategy game. The game eventually fills in enough backstory to tell you about Aatrox and his faction, the Banished, particularly parts focusing on the Banished and why they've taken over Zeta Halo. Feels very light. The emotional side of Master Chief and his counterpart being around the Master Chief are their focuses. Even the big events from previous games like Cortana lining up an enemy of AI allies to fight humanity aren't even dealt with in a major or especially satisfying ways. This sucks, right? I think that sucks. The game feels like it's waiting to tell you something really important, but once you get to the back third of the game and start seeing something that resembles a story dump, it just doesn't have that much information for you. It spends time talking about what it means to be in this weird armored super soldier and what it is like to be a human or an AI hologram lady who has to work alongside the universe's coldest Spartan. The story feels small. In a sense, that part works out decently, but it's hard to get attached to new characters like the pilot, Bootleg Joel's in the chat, when it feels like there's something still unfinished business and a lot other long running characters like Halsey, like the Arbiter, all this stuff. And it says many of the game's late story beats unfold in front of you in a holographic style flashback. By the end of the game and most of the post-credit sequences, I was left wondering things like, wait, who was that? And what did I even accomplish here anyway? It feels like a game missing one or two meaningful revelations at the end. I'll put it this way. Sometimes when we get a review, a publisher will ask nicely for us not to spoil specific moments. Most of the time, this is absolutely common sense stuff, and you would never really dream of typing out a review. In this particular case, one of the things that Halo Infinite listed is something I couldn't spoil even if I tried, because despite finishing the game, I have no idea what they're referring to actually is. Maybe a Legendary has a secret ending or something like that. He says here, structurally, Halo Infinite is like an open world game. It's a big map, little icons denoting main side and side quests, but it works in phases. You first get outside. He says you can run around a specific part of the map, taking over bases that serve as fast travel points, taking out high value targets to unlock neat weapon variants. Progression in the story eventually takes you to another part of the map, locking you out of your old fast travel points in the first phase. Eventually, you get your hands on a Banshee, which is a flying vehicle, so naturally I set off in the direction of the part of the map that I haven't been to yet. Well, you're leaving the battlefield, soldier, that's what he says, so you can't go there, so you can't fly to other zones. You only engage in the zone that you're in. Halo Infinite is smaller than initially seems. That said, it's plenty big and pretty engaging. It'll also let you back out into the world after finishing the campaign, letting you travel around a bit more, unfettered to mop up things. In a lot of ways, it's more of like ODST, which had that hub world, and then you did the missions. Remember the flashbacks?
Right.
Yeah.
Stop barking.
Still, an extremely cool game. It says it feels restrained both in structure and storytelling. Still an extremely cool game with some terrific visuals, a lot of exciting, meaningful moments, but sometimes it feels like it's just missing something. And I didn't mean co-op campaign. While we're here, campaign seems like it could be extremely fun to be played with friends. Open terrain mobility. I'm probably down to replay this next year. And then Forge also plans to go. And then he throws in multiplayer into this. So, and he throws the multiplayer and they talk about the XP and Fortnite skins. So here it goes down here with the traditional $60 package. So, some players decry Halo's Infinite split approach and instead decline the traditional $60 package. I can't think of anything more boring than a Halo that didn't take any chances. While I don't think 343 hit every single target they aimed for, they hit a lot more often than they missed. Halo Infinite is a great time whether you're fighting it out with the Banished or a big ring or getting into the multiplayer. Just don't ask me if I think if it's worth $60. So, I think that's a pretty balanced review.
Damn.
Like, you know, I think it's pretty balanced. Like, you know, that
Just
game's
don't
fun.
ask me if it's worth $60 or not. Oh man, that's a mouthful to say. I mean,
well, it's comes into this. Oh my god, all the bootleg Joel's in the chat. Fun with friends, not this time. Then on top of that, so
it's
then
funny,
you got,
like nobody's mentioning the progression lock to each area that you have to go. Nobody's really talking about that.
Speaking of bootleg Joel,
but oh my god!
So here's bootleg Joel. This picture, Digital Foundry showing the trailer.
Joel, aka the pilot,
dude. Yes. showing the trailer of 2019 and showing what we actually got, I can't believe the downgrade that they had from that trailer.
Oh, it's definitely different.
Dude, bootleg Joel looks like he got the extra bootleg.
Yeah.
So this is the 2019 trailer here.
Big difference.
Dude.
I mean, there's some things that are better, but
it looks better in the open world, like some of the stuff, but man, look at this. What the hell is bootleg Joel doing? I thought this was like, I'm like, is this true? Why did they give him bug eyes? They're like two different people. What happened to bootleg Joel? It's like somebody took bootleg Joel and then made a bootleg of bootleg Joel. I don't know what the hell they did to this guy. He even got more bootleg than before. I got it. Grinders. Be a VIP grinder. There's gonna be a new bootleg Joel meme for you VIP grinders. See this guy right here? This is gonna be your new meme, grinders. VIP grinders. Who are you? All the VIP grinders. Get ready. Sign up if you're new. This is gonna be the new bootleg Joel. We got extra bootleg. We're gonna have bootleg Joel. Dude, we're gonna get ready for new bootleg Joels. I think the character that I have right now, bootleg Joel, as the figurine, looks better than this guy. This guy looks like he's sitting in a yellow chair. I don't know what they did to him.
He's sitting in one of them cyberpunk chairs.
Dude. Subsurface scattering. Digital Foundry talking about subsurface scattering. I'm like, what about his friggin' eyeballs? Guys,
like the chick from what's that video game? Star Wars. The chick with the big eyeballs.
He doesn't even look human.
Like yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Frog, let me explain something to you, Frog. Do you remember when we were talking about puddles in Spider-Man? Puddles.
Yep.
Puddles.
Yep.
They changed the whole goddamn guy's face in this one. And then just think, Frog, 2 years talking about RDNA 2 and 12 teraflops and deltas and betas and power and PlayStation scared.
We did puddle gate, but we don't have eye gate over here.
Eye gate? Bootleg gate.
Bootleg gate.
What like, come on. Like, I'm speechless. I was in shock. I thought people were just making fun. I'm like, this is real? Final game?
Yeah, bootleg Joe does kind of look like a 360 character.
Dude, he is. Now, here's old bootleg Joel. Look at old bootleg Joel. Look at the difference of, like, somebody, whoever designed the young bootleg Joel, man. Look at this.
Somebody said he's looking down at the booty.
He's looking at the booty. Look at the difference here of the lighting and the final game. Like, mind you, the right trailer is not the final game. The left trailer.
The bootleg.
What happened to the bootleg?
They said that the bootleg is a stunt double of the bootleg.
Dude, I'm telling you. This is like somebody took bootleg Joel and made a bootleg of the bootleg. No ray tracing.
I just noticed that there is no ray tracing.
There's no ray tracing. There's fucking Ray Liotta tracing.
I guess that ray tracing.
Ray Charles tracing. Look at this. But nobody's gonna. But no review is 10 out of 10.
He's in a ship that is dark.
These are cinematics, Frog. These are cinematics. This is not even the gameplay. Bootleg.
Interesting.
Look at this. This is horrible.
There's something when
he took a shit. Look at this.
There's something about the final game that looked better, but the E3 trailer, I don't know what it is about the E3 trailer. It's darker. Like, why is he so bright? Why is his face so bright?
I don't know, man. There's some issues with the lighting. I don't know what the hell's going on. But bootleg, man, they gave him the extra bootleg. Fucking guy doesn't have a name either.
No, the pilot. They just named him the pilot.
Even Chiefs like, oh my, yeah, it looks more bad. He looks totally different. They
Wow.
recasted Bootleg Joel. Like, Chief's armor looks better, I think, in the final game than the other one. But Bootleg Joel, man, they bootlegged his ass.
I tell you, man. They, I think
Puddles. We were talking about Puddles. This is a whole character. Environments.
There's some things that look better. Like Chief's armor, some things look way better.
But Frog, look at this pit. This one really got me too. Like when he looks at the ring.
Yeah, something about the
look
character,
at the
he's
cinematic approach here in 2019, and look at how washed out and just ugh. Like even the ring looks like that. Dull. Look how clear this looks. Like this is a new engine. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody said they sacrificed bootleg Joe's textures and added it to Craig.
Oh damn! That's the other thing. There was something here. Like they were saying something.
I wonder how the draw distance is going to be in this game.
Well, that was the other thing. They said that.
I wonder if the character is going to like refresh at like 30 frames when you're not close to him.
Where's the other thing?
I'm hoping they don't.
They say that it looks really good too when you first get in there. But this is here. This is something I wanted to show here. This was interesting.
Oh, commercial.
Yeah, I got rid of that. Is this the one? Like here's the I think they went through the 2020 demo. Like here's the other one, the 2020 demo. The one that they showed last year. Like, I don't understand what's going on with the friggin' lighting.
It's the fact that it's in Gamepass is not an excuse because
this is what I got here. Like, what is all this? Like all this trash. Like, look, this is last year's demo, and look how the lighting is just.
If there was no Game Pass, do you think this game would have came out and they would have just pushed it out with the multiplayer like it was?
And then
if there was no Game Pass,
and then they show you like it looks good here, and then like it shows you that the characters don't illuminate, like they kind of stand out. The lighting, like look, they don't stand out. Like see them, they don't have like the glowing from the environment. They have they don't know if they did that because of like maybe better visuals to kind of identify the enemies. Like see. Saying like, yeah, he should be glowing in red, they said, but he's not.
Yeah.
So, they say he's not doing the thing is that I think that there definitely is some weird shit going on with this. Like, again, they want like, it looked interesting. I'm going to play it. But I just think, like, if we want to look at reviews and measure this up, I think what happened is that they're measuring this against the previous game, like, or just I don't know. Like, I think that they're definitely not, and they say this in the reviews too, is that they don't like this is the best Halo that like almost like how Xbox is like this is the most powerful Xbox, but they weren't like the most powerful machine ever, and I think they're like this is like a measure against itself, Halo, and I think a lot of them are comparing it to last year's demo, and I think that was a smart. Now looking back at it, is like showed a shit Halo, and now they showed how they improved it rather than just showing this as it is. But this is what I wanted to show you. This thing, I thought, watch this part. Watch this part if the ad don't pop up. Let me watch this. They go here and show this game, and then they flip to another game. So if this is something I want to talk about, I just wanted to say, when I was watching the video of this, I was saying, like, as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, this looks better. Yeah, this looks decent. Like, this looks good. Then when they start flashing to other games, I'm like, oh, this don't look as good. Watch this. So here's Halo. And I was like, oh my God, when they start showing the trees. And then I'm like, oh, wow, look how good Halo looks. And I'm like, oh, no, that's Crysis 3. And then they flip back to Halo. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. What? wait, what are we doing here? Like, now you realize how oh, really? Like, I'll do that again, Grinders. Take a look. You're playing Halo, and you're like, oh, that's nice. Okay, yeah, it looks decent. Like, it looks better. And then they flip to Crisis 3, and you're like, oh. Okay. I'm like, that's on Halo. That's what Halo needs to look like. And then go back, I'm like, oh. And then on top of that, he talks about the trees. And then he shows, it has another situation here. So, like, I got that one. And then there's another one where he shows, talking about the draw distances, like Frog was asking about, and then talks about the trees. And watch this. He goes, is this the part? Oh my God, they showed the one. And then they also, too, is that the environment stays the same. There's no snow, no space, no water levels, no anything. Here's the game engine demonstration. On the day we arrived on the planet. Remember the Himanyana. This is the demo of the head. From the day we arrived on the planet. There's Elton John here. Yeah, this is the demo. This is nowhere near what it looks like. And like, it's a far cry from all this stuff. And
no, it's a one biome, and some people are comparing it to Breath of the Wild.
Look at this. This was the initial demonstration of what this engine can do. Now, one thing that was impressive, though, that they did say the textures were good when you zoomed in and stuff like that. Oh, look at this. This is what that world is supposed to look like. That doesn't look like that. Now, here's Bootleg Joel. That's what we saw. And then they switched to the bootleg with the extra bootleg. He's gonna be a new meme here. Extra bootleg Joel. Going all extra. Where is he? I can't. What the fuck? What did they do? We feel your pain. Like, I don't know. After 12 teraflops of this. Jesus. And then where was the part where they talked about the grass? They talked about the trees. Where is that? And where is it? Where is it? I think I see it. Because then they flipped to Kana, and I'm like, oh my God. Here it is. Oh yeah, here, watch this. So like I said, looking at the game, not against Bootleg Joel, the trailer, but like looking at the game, like, oh yeah, that looks pretty decent. It looks pretty decent. They got the the things going. But now watch, they go to Red Dead Redemption. And they go, okay, the Halo looks not bad. Then when they start showing other games, watch. Oh, damn. Like, it looks like a generational difference. And now they're showing that they added these shadow regions here. But then watch. Then they go to Kana. And then you watch trees and forest in Kana. And now he goes to this one. Like, look at this. Like, here's Red Dead Redemption 2.
That is a little disappointing.
Like, look. Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, look at what they can do. He's giving recommendations. Like, look, guys, you could add shadows to things in a different distance. Look how much better it looks. He's telling them how to fix their game. And then look at Kana. Like, here's Kana. Look at this. It looks like we went back in time and then we're in the future. Frog, do you see this difference? Like, look at this. Like,
yeah, I think it goes back. I think it goes back to the talent. Because like, if you had another whole year, your game was already like this game. Probably, I'm gonna be honest with you. This game probably needed some more time.
Obviously, it needed another year.
This game. I think this game needed a whole nother year.
Like, look at this. He said there should be shadows underneath here. Like, if you want to, and this is, I understand the tech analysis, and I really, it doesn't matter. But when you look at Halo for what it is, and this is the best game that Microsoft has. This is their baby. This is their God of War. Look at this. This Halo 2 anniversary.
Right.
Like my thing is when they, and this is when I was watching this, when they flip to other games compared to Halo Infinite, you look at it and go, oh damn, it does not look like it's up to par. But if you just watch it for what it is, like here's Metro Exodus. Like they start showing other games and not even next gen games, but older games, and you're like, look at these first person shooters, and then look at this. The explosions are the same explosions from the multiplayer. But let me just go through that again. Just go through this again and look. You know, look at Halo. Like,
what is the?
Look at Halo 2 Anniversary.
I don't know what the fix is for Microsoft and its publishers, man, and the developers. Is it did it need more time, or are they just not as talented?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who to
blame. Like
this game,
to me, this game needed more time. It's not that I don't think 343 is talented. I think they needed more time.
Like, yeah,
and I also think.
Yeah, sorry.
And I also think the fact that 6 years we got a Halo game. Okay, they fluffed the story up a little bit. Multiplayer wasn't bad. They didn't really support the multiplayer like they should have. That's the other thing with Halo 5. How do we get people to continuously be in this world? Oh, we put it on PC. And they figured if we put it on PC, make it free to play, it's easy. It's a win-win for everybody.
Why you think? You think they're spread too thin? Maybe that's why some of the stuff
I think they might be spread too thin, but I also think that they're betting. I think they're betting on putting their games on PC to save their butts. And here's the problem with that. The problem is you have a service called Gamepass where you're telling people you pay $1, you get this, or you pay 15. So my whole thing is like, how does this service continue to go with a game like Halo, which has now become a service-based game? As far as the story mode, and then the multiplayer mode, it's free to play, but it's kind of become a service in itself because you got to spend money to really see anything progressively in there. You really can't earn anything. So how's that fun to people? Like at least when I'm playing Call of Duty, if I spend my $10 on a battle pass, I get my money back and I earn stuff in there. And a lot of people would shit on COD, but I told everybody when it was coming out, I said, hey, COD will be the better multiplayer game as far as the whole package. I think Halo experience-wise will be fun. And I think a lot of people, when they say honeymoon phase, I think a lot of people are living in that multiplayer. And just like they live in single player honeymoon, I've done it, and I can admit it.
Oh like, yeah, you all hyped about it, and then you're like,
yeah, I'm super hyped to play the story, and I'll probably get it and I play it, and once I get through, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm hoping I don't have that moment. Hopefully, the moments I have in the game, I'm like, yo. And like I said, I think this is going to be more in vein with a Destiny type model, how they do things, which I don't have a problem with that if it's interesting and if I can play with my friends, and if it's. But I guess on the flip side, the other side is like, damn, now I got a multiplayer that's free to play, and yeah, I'm playing, but damn, Hey, come here.
I'm just like, I understand that it's doing something different, but my God, like you can't. I just feel like for Halo to turn to kind of. This is a new engine. Like you would think that you would have like better stuff. Like it's a new engine, and it seems like everything's just held back like on the stuff. And I'm just like, I just don't get what they're like what they were trying to go for here. And it's like, is this something that they're gonna fix later? Like later and stuff like that? Like are they gonna add like shadows and stuff? Like, hey, February update, we're adding shadows and shit. Like you're looking at here, I'm gonna be a little messy here, but yeah. Well,
they're trying to get me to go in my bedroom because they're like, "Hey, punk, it's time to go to sleep."
Time for bed. But yeah, we're gonna get just to kind of like leave us on a high note.
You're my number one customer.
Here we go. Watch this, just to leave us on a little bit of the Grindhouse. But here we go. We're gonna leave this here. Yeah. We'll get the two of them. Yo, Game Night 123, thank you very much. He goes, Frogz 343 had help from Skybox Labs, Spirasoft, The Coalition, Certain Affinity, and Atomic Hawk. You can't say they were spread too thin. They had help.
Oh,
dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did add all that help. But you know what? The Game Night, I was thinking, like, maybe the whole, like, putting the game on PC thing. You know, they always blame that stuff. But, yeah, like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, I'm looking at these two side by side, and it's like,
yeah, I think that
can't, man. Like, this is,
you know, and one thing I will give Nintendo, even though I say I hate playing to switch my 4K TV, they can get their if Nintendo can get their games up to that 4K quality, and just resolution wise, their games are good. They have quality games. It's just that they just wake them on weak hardware. And geez, man, like, you know, I don't know. I'm excited still to play Halo, even though there's some critique and I think that needs to be done.
I'll play it.
I do think that when I look at the scores and when I look at the scores and I see what these so-called, you know, game critics are writing, it contradicts itself a lot. Like one says they're talking about how bad it is and there's no story and I don't understand the story, like it's null and void. But the next minute you're giving it a 10. Like, wait, how is this a 10?
My thing is, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve a 10, but my thing is that knowing that there's content not there and content coming, like, how do you give it a perfect score? Knowing that.
How do you have content missing and a whole missing content, but you still give it a 10?
And the story doesn't answer all the stuff. Like, you complained about the story with Halo 5. And now the story doesn't really hit a mark. Whether it,
you know what,
like,
the funny thing is, Jazz?
I just don't get it.
Ghost of Tsushima came out with a multiplayer we knew nothing about, and it was really good. And I was like, damn, like this is really good. Like they didn't even have to give us this, but they did. They're working on it in secret. A lot of games will come out and they'll give us something we don't know, but I can't really think of too many big first-party IPs from Nintendo and Sony. We're like, yo, this is missing a lot of content and it's broken. Like people, I tell you what, there's a lot of people who will shit on Days Gone, but they've never played it. And Days Gone wasn't at launch. It wasn't a bad game because they fixed it. But I think the problem Days Gone had is they gave it to people to review before they gave them the code, the update, and so a lot of set websites were shitting on it when they didn't have the patch, the day one patch. And then after people had day one patch, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. And so, you know, Days Gone was probably a solid, I don't know, probably a solid 7, you know, 8 game. But like I see a lot of people shit on it. And like I said, man, there's a lot of people who shit on that game that never even played it.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's one thing I won't thing I won't do is shit on a game that I haven't played.
Of course.
Now I can tell you if I'm
going to like it, or might be interested in it,
and I don't like it. Yeah. Like Divinity Original Sin, I try to play it. I just can't get into it. It's not my type of game. But you know, for me, it's not my type of game. But somebody may like it. I'm gonna play Halo. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of this game. And if I like it, I like it. If I love it, I love it. I mean, this is the thing. I think that when you play a game, you have to be totally. I'm a huge Halo fan. You have to look at this from all aspects and say, okay, as a fan of Halo, is it giving me what I really needed? Okay, gameplay wise, probably. Graphics, it's debatable, right?
Yeah.
But story wise, you might like, yo, what the fuck is going on? If I'm sitting there like I'm having what the fuck moments, like I don't know what's going on, then there's a problem, you know? If my game is freezing, like I saw in Digital Foundry's video, which I hope it doesn't, that's a problem. Now, hopefully patches will fix this day one. And so, but you can't fix a broken story. You can't fix broken game. Well, you can technically fix
we'll see what they're going to do with it. It's 10 years, but we will see.
And I'm going to play this on with my new controller. Like I said, bought a controller just to play this game, which I'm going to play this with all my games, but like I'm super excited to play this game.
Grindhouse even though crazy. They like even though I have some I'm
what I'm reserved on is how I'm going to feel about it. What I'm not reserved on is how reviewers or writing contradicting themselves. 1 second they're telling you what's really bad and the story is null and void, but it's a 10 out of 10. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And
Then
knowing
you said
this
the
stuff
same-
missing. That was
then
my
you said the
biggest
same
thing.
thing
Like,
about Days Gone.
yeah, I know.
You
Well,
guys
that's what
shit
I
on
mean.
Days
Like,
Gone.
we're gonna have to see how they're gonna review Horizon, Frog. I want to see
Yeah.
like these same
How
reviews
you
give it
gonna
like
review
an
the next
8 and
God
be
of
like,
War?
yeah.
How you gonna review the next God of War? You're gonna say it's the same
If
old
this
same,
is a 10,
just in a different bias. I don't understand that. If this is a 10, God of War definitely be a 10.
like I
better be a
don't
10.
understand. Like I don't understand. Like that's what I mean. I think this is being reviewed within the bubble. Within the bubble shield,
I don't-
like it's within
No,
like
there's
Microsoft's offering.
something-
Like it's just, I think, because like I want to see somebody come out there and start walking around the forest and then going, oh, the trees are not moving in Horizon. Well,
No,
you
there's-
know the
there's
graphics weren't
something-
as bad. Like, are you kidding me?
There's something about
Everything
these
should be a
reviews
10
that's
out of
little-
10 moving forward from now.
There's
Like
something about
Spider-Man,
these
like
reviews that are a
everything.
little off. There's something about these reviews that are a little off. There's a lot of people gave it a lot of perfect scores, but had a lot to say critiquing it. But you still give these perfect scores, and I'm like, how are you gonna give this perfect score to this
Because
game
it's Halo.
when there was so much stuff that you critiqued that was missing? You just said the story was boring as shit. But you still get,
See? Wait, Frog. Nick says it right there. He goes, Horizon's going to be gone through with a fine-tooth comb because it's $69. And that's grinds my gears. See, that's the thing. This is a $60 game, though, Nick. This is a $16. This is a $60 game. So nobody's going through with a fine-tooth comb. They're going, oh, you could get it in Game Pass. Like, this is where I mean. It's a $60 product. And oh, shit, I didn't get into it. But, like, apparently on the disc, the game is not even on the disc. You got to go home and download it. The disc is just,
the disc is just a key.
John Litterman just said it. Like, he said that the game is not even on the disc. Like, you got to go home and download it. So if you don't have online, like, you can't download the game. So it's not on the disc anymore. It's just a DRM.
I don't know.
It's a
I
license.
mean, most games are just a key anyway. But wow, I don't know what to say, man. Like,
I don't know, man. These review things really, they went with the
I think
optimistic approach, and we'll see.
When I look at it, when I look at the PC side and I look at the console side, I was like, why is the PC side so much lower? But then I had to look. There weren't Xbox guys.
Yeah,
in,
exactly. So there wasn't a lot of Xbox like reviews there.
And you know how I look at this game just from reading reviews, it probably is a straight solid 8.
I think so. Like, I think at 8 or even at 8.5, like from reading what people have, I think they did a great
some
job.
of the people I read that gave it 10s, it's like they contradict themselves. One sentence they're telling you, like,
the game's not perfect, and it's 100, and I just
this is not. They're telling you all this stuff is not there. This is not there day one. This is not there. But then like the story is known for it, but it's a 10.
Yeah.
I literally read one review where it said the story was boring as hell. You couldn't follow it. You really didn't understand what was going on. But a 10. I'm like, huh? Like, wait.
The thing with the review is I don't know what's going on, but I feel like that there is some sort of like there is definitely a good faith. Like a good faith,
right? Like Death Stranding reviews, worst game ever. You shit on Death Stranding, but you get this. I don't get that, you know.
Wait, we'll see when I gotta tell you, my eyes are open now from this Halo review. I gotta see how these people review other games. Because I was like,
it's not even about PlayStation versus Xbox. It's just like when you look at a game, you got to look at the game as a whole package, and this game is obviously missing things that it should have there. They told you
it's not there. So how can you give it a perfect? How can you give
this a game a 10? Yeah,
I don't understand that.
And I saw somebody on Twitter say, well, you know, just because it gets a 10 doesn't mean it's perfect. No, but you're missing key things to the franchise. It's missing. It's not there. So you know it's a key thing to that franchise. That would be like if Kratos is coming in and you're like, well, Blades of Chaos are and we don't give you Blades of Chaos.
Yeah, or Horizon, like she can't swim. It's coming in the next thing.
Look, Blades of Chaos, you gotta actually buy the Blades of Chaos to play with them in God of War. What?
Like
that's a staple.
Or like Horizon, like, oh well, we're gonna add swimming later on. She's not gonna swim at launch. We're gonna add like water levels and things like that. We have a whole stuff planned. Like my thing is I just don't understand you knowing that their content is missing, but they gave them the good faith reviews. And they gave them the extra credit, thinking that this stuff's gonna work. And you know what that does, though. And the unfortunate thing is that makes them all feel there's no pressure on them. Now they're like, oh,
Nope.
we're sitting there
I
now with
don't like the
9s
fact
and
that you can
10s,
throw it in
guys. Because imagine
you
if
can
they
throw it
sat
in
out there, Frog, with the 6s and 7s or
you
7s
can
and
throw it in
8s.
subscription
Then they would have been
service.
like, dude, you got to get that content out there because our game got reviewed poorly because the content wasn't available.
Right.
Now they're sitting
I
there
just
with
don't like the
9s and
fact that you put in a
10s.
subscription service and base it on.
But Frog, they're sitting there 9s and 10s
excuse.
now. What urgency do they have now? Like the community, they can shut down the Reddit post.
No.
Oh, you complaining? We're shutting you down. You know what? We'll get to it when we get to it. We're working our asses off. Fuck you. We got a 9 out of 10. Fuck again. We got a 9.5 game of the year voting for betas. They're riding high right now because the media darlings, they're getting all this stuff. What is the pressure on them to get us the content that's missing? There is no pressure because they got great reviews. So, like, that's why these great reviews don't really do justice, and the fact that they basically don't really tell you the true state of what the game is in. You're going to get this game, going to try to draw co-op because it's a 10 out of 10. Halo's always been great. Wow, Halo got a 10 out of 10. You're going to go there and go, the fuck is this? I can't do this with my friends. I can't do co-op. I can't do Forge. And it's just a weird ass. It's just a weird ass approach. And I just think that it's, to give a game that that is not have this content because they told you it's not having this content. I just don't understand, given the score. And again, it's not like the multiplayer is a separate piece. I'm not even talking about the multiplayer. I'm talking about the co-op that was supposed to be there. I'm talking about the Forge mode that they said was going to be there and not there. The day one guns. And nonetheless, they called it a service game. That's right. It's a service game. Last of Us wasn't. Wait, Frog. Last of Us was not a service game. These games weren't service games. This is a service game. So how do you say it's perfect in the beginning when they say everything that was missing is because it's a service? You got to give it the leeway to have the game improve over time. How do you do that when you give it perfect scores? They said it's defined, and that's where it grinds my gears about this whole situation where it's a beta when it wants to be a beta. It's a service game when it wants to be a service game. It's a $60 product when it wants to be a $60 product. It's a game of the year contender when it wants to be a game of the year contender. Like, you make there's an excuse for every fucking aspect of it, and that's the thing that drives me crazy. Just make a great game. Don't make a game that has the content's coming later. This is doing this. Yeah. Like, I just don't understand the whole dichotomy of how the game just can't be a great game. It has to be a game, but it's like, it's a 10 out of 10.
I will say this, and then I'm gonna leave on this note because my dogs are freaking out. This is what I will say. Have you noticed? And I'm gonna leave on this note. Have you noticed that the majority of people who are really pushing hard for this game aren't even Xbox guys? They're PC guys.
PC guys. Yep, I know.
It's
a whole new crew that they got. They recruited a whole new. When they went to PC and sold their soul, Xbox soul, they recruited Windows Central. They recruited them all.
Yes, they are freaking this. Oh, this game is this. I'm like, wait,
they got a whole slew of PC dudes.
So I think, and I'm gonna be honest, there are a lot of PC guys who were disappointed in Xbox and just built a PC and it was like, screw it, I can get my games here. And no, I'm being serious.
No, I was looking at game night, Frog game night,
and I think they want PlayStation to do the same thing. Just put your games on PC, so I don't have to play anywhere else. I can play on PC.
Dude, shout out to Game Night 123 the $5. He goes, Insomniac adding claws to Wolverine. It won't be at launch though. 10 out of 10.
Oh my god,
dude! I don't get it, and it will be another day.
You're my number one customer.
I appreciate the super chats. Thank you, Game Night, for that. But I just think that I get frustrated when the excuses are just for every aspect because you can't complain. If you complain about it, it's free. If you say it's great, it's free. If you say stuff's missing, it's like, well, just get it in Game Pass. I just there's excuses for everything and it just read that Jeff Gerstmann review. Like, it's so confusing as to why am I even writing this review when you could just go download the game right now for $15 and let it transpire, and just let it expire. Like, there's nothing that what's the purpose of reviewing games when you could just play them yourself without a reviewer? Like, why are you gonna read this when you could just click the button and do it for $0? Mm-hmm. You don't have to invest anymore. And it's turning into this kind of game shaming where if you buy a game, you're a sucker. If you pay for a game, but you could just get it in a
Right.
service, and what it's doing is that it's cheapening the hobby, and that's what I don't like. It makes them have excuses. We're working our ass off. What are you gonna do? You got the game for free. Shut down the Reddit post. Trust me, if that was a $60 product in multiplayer and that was a $70 game, there'll be the response that guy had to the community would have been like, dude, I'm sure that shit would have been there already. Because you see, it's a business, it's a monetization. They had to have that stuff the way it needed to be. You know, I think too, this is I'm gonna leave on some positivity, Grinder. So we get the like button. So we're not gonna leave it doom and gloom. We're gonna leave positivity. I'm gonna tell you this. Halo getting delayed was the best thing that could happen, because this year was kind of weak. The last year they would have been at a launch with Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, all those games that were coming out last year. They were able to piggyback off of the 20-year anniversary of nostalgia, which they did extremely well. They had a Forza game, which last year they didn't have anything. They didn't have no Forza. So they had Forza Horizon carrying them into the holiday, and then they had the piecemeal Halo following up with the holiday. Getting and then last year showing that horrible Halo thing, showing the bottom of the barrel, and you only could move up from there. Hey, Craig could be hairless, but he could get hair later on. So if you show a hairless Craig, you can get hair full of hair next year. You only could go up, right? And I think the delay was a huge marketing ploy, and they were able to really spin it and get that PR. They got those Xboxes out there. They got the review copies out there, and they made everybody play this game, but they also gave the dev more time, and they were also able to piggyback off of the 20 years. So they did a great job with the marketing and the PR to this. And the thing is that Xbox kind of reminds me of the student. Like PlayStation is the student that gets A's all the time and then gets an 80 and the teacher's disappointed. Where Xbox is the student that doesn't show up to class and then shows up to class once, raises his hand and says his name, and the teacher's impressed. And it just feels that, you know, there's good graces with Xbox because they're trying to get back into things, but it is a crawl. And, you know, at least we're getting games to play rather than no games. But they did a smart move PR-wise. And that Phil Ness is running wild throughout the gaming industry. And I'm just going to be very interested to see what standards are set when we're seeing all these hundreds and stuff given dished out. And I want to see next year when games start dropping, I want to see the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. It's just stories not there and all this other stuff. And I'm going to be scratching my head and go like, where were these bloated Halo reviews? Like, where's all this stuff? Because I do think that some of this stuff was definitely more of a narrative that, hey, you know, Microsoft can make great games. And I'm interested. I got excited. I'm gonna play it.
I'm looking forward to playing the game and beating it and giving my opinion and looking at other people who give their opinion who haven't even beat or played it. Because you know there are going to be some people out there, oh, it's great, it's this, and I'm like, dude, you didn't even play it.
Nah, I'm going to play it.
You know,
I'm going to play it because I want to play the campaign, at least the campaign, and go through the story. And then I thought about buying it, and then I read the Jeff Gerstmann review, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do Game Pass. So, like, I'm going to I got the Game Pass.
You know, I was like, I definitely got to.
I thought about buying it on Steam because I did not want to go through that Windows Store. But I don't know. We'll see what. We'll see what it is. Maybe I'll consider buying it. I don't know. I was thought about getting it on Steam, going like, hey, let me play this. But I wish it was co-op though. I do wish it was co-op because I think it definitely would have been fun. But with that, we're gonna shut down the Grindhouse tonight. It was a little late night, almost up to 4 hours. Grinders, you've been great. Thank you so much for the super chats. And hit that subscribe button if you're new here. I'm at 1130 right now of subscribers, 1,130. So let's keep going. Growing that Grindhouse, and if you want to become a VIP grinder, there will be a new extra bootleg Joel coming to the memes. Who are you? Definitely, I see. He says December 8th is going to be wild. It will be. And keep it locked here because I'll be streaming it. We'll be playing it. And I'll give you my impressions. Again, the reviews are the reviews. Metacritic, I don't take it too seriously. I just think that there's a little bit, like, you know, if you're trying to become, like, standardized and shit like that, like, I just think that the Metacritic has just gotten out of hand all over the place. And, you know, it is what it is. I think people rely too much on it, but I do think that, you know, my biggest thing was just I don't know how you get perfect scores when they know that content is still there and it's a service game. How's it perfect on day one when they're apologizing all over the internet? I don't know. Scratch my head on that one. But shutting down the gaming Grindhouse, guys, has been a great, epic show. Hit that like button, share it out. I'm going to try to do timestamps for tomorrow for the guys on the replay and the girls for the replay. And, yep. And subscribe if you're new. And stay tuned here for more Gaming Grindhouse and Grinds My Gears. Thanks again. Frog, tell them where to find you. The Grindhounds, they're wild.
So you guys can find me at Frogz Dream on Twitter. And let's see, where else can you find me? Frogz Dreams, Frogz Dope Gaming on YouTube. If you want to find me in Call of Duty on PlayStation 5, you can find me at Black and Watson.
I know, Sergeant. Xbox needs all the good news they can, and I think that's the... Yeah, I think that's the thing. And we'll check out the Game Awards. I don't know what we're doing. I'm not certified.
Oh yeah, Mark is supposed to be streaming them. I know. He wanted to jump in there with him.
Okay,
kind of do
we'll
all inclusive.
So jump in there.
Yeah,
or
we
I'll
can
go
rock out
live
with
or
Mark.
something. I don't know. We'll see what I'm doing. I don't know. Oh, actually, Salty's doing it. I might have to jump on Salty's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think he got the thing to. Because I'm not streaming it because you know it's I'll probably get all friggin' the warnings and shit on my thing because I don't have the keys.
Yeah, I think he wanted to do it with the old crew. So.
Oh, okay. I'll see.
We'll
bounce around. I don't know. I really just want to watch for the friggin' announcements. I really don't care about the commercials.
That's all I want to know. I don't care about the award.
win is like, you know, all his Keeley commercials and his kissing.
What is it, this Thursday, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what I went back to? Again, I said I was shutting down the grinds. No, I went back to watch Q because remember he said the thing about Activision.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, we took a stance. They just won the awards when I talking about Activision." And like, I want to know if he's gonna say something at this thing. But I went back and watched what he did for Kojima, and his speech when he like cried and like brought him on stage, going, "Konami held you back to how I wanted to present you. I could have shipped it to you. I could have sent it to you FedEx."
And he basically ball watched Kojima.
Oh my God, yo! You listen to that speech. It is like, I think it's just he thinks it's him and only him and Kojima in the room. Like he was just sitting there going,
I thought he was gonna jump out there and start singing.
Dude, oh my God, he's like, and he's holding this Keeley Award like it's the friggin', like it is the goddamn the 24 karat gold. He's like, I wanted to hand this to you personally. I know they held you back. They want to fly you here to my Game Awards show, and I want to give you my award. And here it is. You are my best friend. You are my angel. You are the angel in my dreams. And this is the Keeley Award for you, Kojima. For you. Get up on this stage. I wanted to give it to you. Oh my God. I was like, my God, I forgot how simple that shit was when he did it. Yeah. My God. And he was acting like he was going to give him a 24 karat gold diamond. My God. He's just like, and come up here for the best award. I was going to ship it to DHL, but I got to give it to you personally. Hold me back. I'm like, holy shit. It's a freaking Keeley.
That's how it works.
It's a freaking Keeley Award. What do you think you're giving him? You basically printed them out on 3D printers, and now you handed it like this is goddamn fucking diamonds. He's like, they want to ship you here to accept the award for the most amazing game. I'm gonna quote the game. Get up. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, my God, Jeff Keighley's. But anyway, I thought that's hilarious. I went back. I encourage you, go watch the speech that he had. Holy crap, my God. I was just like, dude, what is this? This is crazy. Yeah, I love you, man. I'm like, come get this award. I was like, holy shit. But anyway, we got to shut this shit down. All right, that was the post-Grindhouse thing. All right, thank you, Grinders. Good night. Hit that like button, share it out. I will tweet it out and come back. There'll be more bootleg Joels. Can't wait to see bootleg Joel on my screen. Let's go.